have the most special episode that we've ever recorded.
Wow.
I stand by that statement. We are going to be joined by several to many.
4, in fact.
4 of our former Nintendo coworkers. And they're gonna spill even more secrets and stories. It's gonna be like the ultimate tell-all. Because they got a lot to say. Let me tell
What
you.
are they going to say? I don't know. These are people who worked alongside us in the very same office, who we're still very friendly with. Yes. It's wonderful to catch up with them, which we've got the Thanksgiving spirit is among us, but we've also got some things to say.
That's right. And we're so excited to have them in person here in our new studio. Now that we have the space, we get to invite people over to do these kinds of, bigger episodes. So we really hope that you enjoy it. We certainly are going to have a ton of fun just like hanging out with our old friends.
Yeah, so they'll be joining us in just a moment.
Yes. As always, everything that you see on this channel is made possible by our wonderful Patreon family. If you'd like to join us, we are at patreon.com/KitandKrysta. Lots of cool benefits if you are a Patreon subscriber.
We are gearing up for this weekend, our big monthly meetup, which is for our 1UP Club and Superstars tiers. And it looks like we're going to be playing this latest Mario Kart 8 Deluxe packs.
We've been having a lot of fun. Every time there's a new Mario Kart like booster course pack or whatever, we've been playing with our community during these meetups. That's been a ton of fun. We're always like schooled by our community.
It's true.
Hardcore. Like they are so much better than we are, but we have a ton of fun hanging out with them. So that's coming up.
Speaking of Mario Kart, we have now released the Kit and Krysta podcast bonus episode, which is our retrospective on Mario Kart 8, where we look back through the entire 10 years, cannot believe it's 10-year history of the game, and talk about the role that we both had on this game and its many iterations, and kind of end off with some thoughts on what the future might hold for Mario Kart.
I know, it's so crazy to think that it's been this long, but it truly has been this long. I think it's been interesting to look back on everything that's happened within these 10 years. It feels like the end of an era almost, like in my life.
I know.
And also for Mario Kart, and I think we're both really excited and hopeful for what the future of Mario Kart is going to be. Hopefully when the next Nintendo, console comes out, like that's going to be pretty cool to see what happens next. But first we have to look back and just like think about what took us, what brought us to this point.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I know a lot of you tune into this podcast to hear our stories, and we've got a lot of great stories in that episode, so definitely check it out if you have not. Another video, which is going to be coming out probably in a matter of days, right in that Black Friday
the shopping
frenzy, is the official Kit and Krysta holiday gift guide.
We've
never done that before.
Never done one before, which is like weird because we love the holidays. We love buying gifts for each other and for our friends. We're definitely going to do an episode where we like exchange Christmas gifts, I think, and like unbox our Christmas gifts. But before that, we have to actually like think about what to buy for each other and other people. So we put together a pretty like meaty gift guide with tons of different options. Very unique choices too. It's not like buy your friend this latest Switch game.
It's not buy them Smash Brothers. No, there's actually no games at all.
Yes.
It's things that are kind of in the realm of games for people who love games maybe in different ways, and a wide range of prices if you don't want to break the bank, but also a couple high-end items.
Some high-end
if,
stuff.
If you want to go all out.
You want to impress someone.
Yes. Yeah. So there's 12 items in total, things that we love, things that in some cases we have.
Yes.
And I think you'll like it too.
I think so too.
Yes.
Hopefully it's helpful.
Yes. And then finally, you may have heard, the rumors are true.
Oh, the rumors and speculations are true, yes.
We will be appearing on the Dragon's Dogma 2 showcase pre and post show.
Yes.
With some wonderful people. That is happening on November 28th at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Hope you check it out. We're both big fans of Dragon's Dogma.
We are, yes.
And I think you're going to enjoy the show they're putting on together. This is something that we already recorded, and we got to play some of the game.
So cool.
It's looking great.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to enjoy what they put together for you all.
Yeah, we had so much fun and met some really cool people who are much more knowledgeable about Dragon's Dogma than at least I am. So I learned a lot that day. I feel like I'm totally prepped for this game now, though. I'm so excited to like finally play it more and stuff. But it was super
And then
fun.
you were just on last week, another Capcom stream.
I know. I'm just like infiltrating there.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was on. So they're doing now these like monthly community streams, and we were when we recorded for the Dragon's Dogma 2 showcase. Wow, it's kind of a mouthful. We were in there. They just moved into this new office with a new, really cool like studio space. So yeah, they're gonna be doing these like monthly streams from their new studio space, which is awesome. This month we played Resident Evil Mercenaries, which was hilariously fun. And it was a lot of heckling, and it was really fun. And then we did a bit of Ace Attorney.
Yes.
Which I was really jealous because you got a chance to play that during their like
I did.
TGS.
Their TGS event, yes.
Right, but I was on vacation, so I didn't get to go. And I was really jealous that you got to play that game because it is such a cool collection of like 3 really like fantastic Ace Attorney and Apollo Justice games. The new features that they added to that is just incredible. And you can jump around to different chapters. You could like, there's like galleries and just a lot of stuff beyond the games. And the games are definitely old enough now that they feel new again. Because I played it and I was like, I don't remember this. And it feels like a new game and it looks fantastic. So yeah, so I had a ton of fun. So I guess they're doing these monthly. Maybe we'll be invited back. Maybe not. Who knows?
Maybe I'll get invited one day.
Maybe you'll get invited one day. I don't know.
We'll
but it's been fun to hang out with all our Capcom buddies because we
there are a lot of
them.
people who work at Capcom that we've known in different iterations of our career from Nintendo or other places. So it's wonderful.
We're friends.
Yes.
And it's great. I love them.
All right, we are moments away from our quartet of ex-Nintendo colleagues joining us. But first, we got to shout out our sponsor for this episode. This episode is sponsored by Uncommon Goods.
Yay!
It is officially time to kickstart your holiday shopping, but there's no cause for panic. Uncommon Goods is here to make your holiday shopping stress-free by scouring the globe for the most remarkable and truly unique gifts for everyone on the list. Whether you're shopping for mom, dad, teenagers, in-laws, or your best friends, Uncommon Goods knows exactly what they want. Last time we checked in with Uncommon Goods, I had ordered this great book reading set that I had gotten for my mom. Again, I hope she's not listening.
Mom.
That has since arrived. That came very quickly.
It did, yeah.
And it's amazing. Like it's like a single piece of wood that has this sort of triangular shape that you can leave your physical book on the page.
Yeah, there's a
it's
little slot.
It's got a little nook for you to put your glasses. It's got a little circular thing cut out for you to put your beverage of choice onto. She's gonna love it.
She's gonna love it. Your mom reads a lot, so that's perfect for her. And you don't want her to like lose her glasses when she's walking around. The thing I love about Uncommon Goods is that they really have a lot of variety of gifts. They're really curated from, small independent businesses or local artists and things like that. So you really get something unique and different. Like I've never seen the book stand
Neither had I,
like anywhere else. And I saw what you were talking about when you were telling me about it. And they have just such beautiful gifts. Funnily enough, the person that's gonna be on this here podcast in mere moments, that was the friend that I was shopping for on Uncommon Goods. I actually got her a birthday present. Her birthday is next week. My gift also came, so it looks beautiful. I checked it out. It's awesome.
But she told us, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you have them as a sponsor. I love them. So I think
I know.
I think this is gonna work out.
I didn't know that I had no idea. And so I think she's gonna like my gift.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so true though. We're very lucky to have them as a sponsor now when we are in the thick of the holiday season and people are frantically looking for things. And I think oftentimes you have that experience of looking around. It's like, I'm just seeing the same things. I'm not getting any inspiration or fresh ideas. Yeah. I felt completely differently when I was browsing Uncommon Goods. Like I've never seen a lot of this stuff before.
Super unique, but also very curated so you don't get overwhelmed. And I love supporting, small businesses and local artists as well.
So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/kitKrysta. That's uncommongoods.com/kitKrysta for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we are all out of the ordinary.
Wow. We will put the link right over here and also in the description below. Gift shopping season is here, so don't slack off on your gift shopping.
All right, I hear doorbells off in the distance. Let's go bring our guests in. And
yay! Yay!
They'll be here when we come back.
All right, so we are here with a very
Welcome.
special group of friends. We've been wanting to do this for so long, but did not have the room. But we have invited all of our old Nintendo friends to join us today to tell you some of their stories. We all worked together for many, many, many years. So we're so glad to have you guys. Thank you for coming.
It's the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Yes. It's sort of like Thanksgiving table.
Where's the turkey?
I know, right? After.
Yes, here it is. Dig in.
So I guess we can just go around and introduce people really quick. Or they can
Icebreakers?
introduce themselves.
Corporate icebreakers?
Corporate icebreakers.
Yes.
Everybody hold hands, try to get out of this
Tell
human
us a fun
knot.
fact about yourself.
Two truths and a lie.
Yeah, wait, that's fun. I like that one. Well, let's start with Sean. Pointing you.
Okay, so I was at Nintendo from 2012 to 2017-ish in retail marketing and strategy. Great time. Loved it. And since we've moved on.
Nice.
Cool.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Explain yourself.
Explain yourself,
My
sir.
name is Mike.
Hi.
This is awkward.
So you actually have a pretty interesting history with us because you were on several episodes of Nintendo Minute where you were known as the mysterious trainer Mike.
I was.
People might not recognize you without a fake mustache, but,
and the,
but that is
pillow in your tummy?
Yes, the
shoved up my shirt.
yes, yeah, that's true. But you're actually a real person named Mike.
I am a real person named Mike. That's correct.
Yes, and you worked at Nintendo for how many years? Like a long time.
Oh gosh, it was nearly 11 years in different functions.
Yeah, you had you probably are out of all of us the one that had like the most diverse experience. I
I did
think.
bounce around between sales and marketing.
Yeah.
What did you do starting out? I can't remember.
I started off as an assistant manager in retail strategy, so doing
Okay.
analytics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not where you ended up.
I ended up doing, my direct title was Director of Retail Digital and Direct Sales.
Whoa.
You
I'm
had-
very important.
You had a very memorable first day where I remember you wore a very shiny suit.
No,
That's right. That's actually
All
accurate.
right,
There's the
let me.
second
Hey. No, I think I need to take the moment to dispel these false.
But I was there.
allegations.
I was there.
It was not a shiny. It was a regular gray suit.
No, it was a silver
However,
You had
Stephanie
oil
and some
dumped on
others have perpetuated this lie that I was wearing a very like a fantastically shiny
You were.
prom befitting gray suit, and
Silver suit.
not the case. No, it's just a regular very similar to my shirt.
No, it isn't.
No
Your shirt's not
sheen
shiny.
whatsoever.
I was there.
There was definitely a sheen.
Maybe
A
it was just
glitter.
my aura. Maybe it was just you guys are so impressed.
Yeah, just had glitter
I
coming
came
off
in
of
like
you.
Prince in the door.
All right, who are you, Miss Lady?
I'm Monica. I worked at Nintendo for almost 15 years, so pretty decent amount of time. I was on the consumer marketing team, essentially making advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were doing the really hard stuff.
Yeah.
All working on all those Nintendo ads,
Hard
and some
stuff,
of them
but
were
fun stuff.
fun. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say some of them were really weird and cool, and some of them
Mhm.
were fun, and some of them were really hard,
Intense. and
intense.
complicated.
Yes, you and
Yeah.
I famously went to
Budapest,
Budapest
Yeah,
together for
Brothers.
Smash. We'll tell that a different time. That's a different
Yeah.
story, but we had a real bonding trip when we went to
We
do
survived
that.
Sakurai.
We did. We survived. We have pins. We have pins that say we survived Sakurai. So yes, and you brought a prop today.
Look at
And
that.
yeah, this is from the Mario Kart 7. So this is old school Mario
Yeah.
Kart 7 shoot. So it was real karts on a track shot in Los Angeles.
So cool.
There were 4 different helmets, so I snagged the Luigi one.
Yeah.
That's the correct one.
I think
Yeah.
that's the right
That's
one.
the best
Yeah,
one,
that's
yeah.
the best one. That's definitely the
Yeah.
best one. Awesome.
Did
Thank
you do a double stint? Did you leave for a couple
I
years?
did.
And then I remember that.
I did. I was one of the boomerangers.
Right.
Yeah, you had
Yeah.
you came back, and you were in the Redmond office for a little bit, right?
Yes.
The year that the Redmond office opened was the year that I left. And when I came back, I worked out of that office right after it opened. And it
Like the new building.
the new
Wow.
building
fun.
smelled like a new building.
Yeah. That was had a weird
And it
smell in
was
there.
empty.
Oh, yeah, because
So
no one had
empty.
You're a
moved in
pin
yet.
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so quiet and
Yeah.
so empty, completely different from the Redwood City office.
And then you came back to the Redwood
And
City
then I
office.
moved back to California.
Yeah.
And came back to the Redwood City
Oh,
office.
so you've been around.
I bounced.
You bounced. You've been around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we have Fine.
Hi.
Hi.
What did I do? Let's see.
You worked with us.
I
You worked with us. Come on.
Yeah, so I was on Kit and Krista's team on the communications side. So I was an intern from 2018 to 2021, I think. So like 3-4 years ish. I got pandemic time too, which was fun. But yeah, I did on the PR side specifically. So my role was kind of like half influencer marketing, half comms, half PR. So
Yeah.
that's actually 1.5. Half PR, half
I was like
influencer
a third.
marketing. a third.
That's more than 100%.
That's the Nintendo way.
That's
very typical.
It's very typical.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you had a really cool job specific to our team because you worked the most with like the indie developers, the third party team, the licensing team. So you were like probably out of all of us working the most with like outside like partners and devs and stuff, which was kind of cool.
It was kind of like I started off sort of focusing on like mobile content. And then because that was like more of like short form or like short link content, like in terms of your promotions, like that's when it became like, oh, you can also work on like digital only content. And that's how
you got
party stuff. So I did a lot of there's so many third party games. But I got to work with like a lot of cool like small and bigger developers.
Exactly. Yeah, you have like the best like stories working with all of those indie developers and stuff. And then you and I, speaking of Mario Kart, had a very, very tough couple years working on Mario Kart Tour together. Though I do not miss that weekly 6 to 8 o'clock meeting with Japan. That was rough.
It was rough. I remember it was every Monday, and Mondays you already are tired.
Yes.
So, like it's the first day of the week, and then you have to stay from like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. to do like meetings in Japan.
I know.
Oh
and it was like for like the whole time during the pandemic, pretty much like the whole 2 years. And when you and I never ate dinner on Mondays, we would just be like, on Tuesday morning, we're coming in late, or we're getting online late today because we didn't finish with Japan till like 8-9 o'clock.
It was
crazy.
I want to say it was also an early pandemic too, so we were like still figuring out like our like at home situation. So like I just been cramped in this little chair from like 6 to 8 p.m. like in my little apartment. And I was like, oh, this is not
the vibe. Yeah, this is not the vibe. Yeah, so true. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy to think like, we all had such deep working connections, and then like of course we're all good friends now. We like literally are good friends. Like people don't believe us, I don't think, when we say like, oh, the people that we worked with at Nintendo became like our family. Like we hang out like all the time outside of work. We Sean, you left a bit earlier, but we've kept in touch for like over 10 years now, and we've friends.
See him too much.
I see him a little too much, honestly. I did trick Sean to come in and see a Disney movie with me next week, so that's exciting. But yeah, it's like so cool that, since we've all moved on from Nintendo, we're still like really close. And obviously that job was so much more than a job, weirdly, for all of us, I think. So
it was. I've not worked in a place that had an environment like where people were just so close knit. And I know we were in a smaller office, but still, even with folks in Redmond, it really did seem like you were part of more than.
Exactly. It's like something that I haven't seen before. I've talked to lots of other people that work at different companies, and they always say like, you guys have like a weird like relationship with each other. Like all of you guys have like weird like connections that we don't have with our coworkers. Like
we certainly don't have that here.
No, we don't. I had to bring these people in.
It's all business.
Sick of you.
I like to describe it as we had lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, I think so.
During that time, and it was not just Nintendo. It was happening with Wii, because we were all there. Right after the Wii launch, but like it was just the people and like how we came together and meshed together.
And then we went through some hard stuff too. Like
really
we went through like the depressing Wii U era. And then we came back, with Switch, and like, it's like a lot of ups and downs. But I think, it really was like a special environment, for all of us. So, but today, we do this thing on our podcast where we share, like, we do like Nintendo story time. So you and I obviously have shared like tons of our Nintendo stories, but today we wanted to get you guys to share some of your Nintendo stories. I have some specific questions for some of you.
I said, let's have these people on and have a warm and fuzzy Thanksgiving episode. And you said, no, we
I
need to
wanna
get something out of them.
I want to interrogate them about several to many things. But yeah, we were just talking before we even started like filming, and we're like remembering stuff. We're like, oh my gosh, that's right, this happened, and that like there's so much that's happened. I think that we've been through together. But I really do want to hear Monica's story first, because that's like my favorite.
You have notes.
Yeah.
Oh my
She has
God.
notes.
I know.
Look at
'cause
this.
I had there was a lot of detail that happened
Yeah.
during this moment.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just really focus on what you wanted to hear, which was the most awkward parts.
Yeah, when you told me this happened
Yeah.
to you, like when I was seeing the emails and like the updates when this was happening to you, I was like, no, I don't accept this.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
don't understand how this is. You cannot make this stuff up.
You can't make it up.
It's unreal.
And I encourage anyone to Google the time frame and the location.
Yes, check
because
us.
there-
Fact check
there
us.
There are receipts.
Yes, this is real, people.
Yeah.
But yes, Monica, your story is really interesting. It's about a commercial shoot that you did for Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is a
That's
game that you and I worked on together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so part of my responsibilities being on the consumer marketing team and advertising, I worked on almost all of the Pokemon launches.
Right. Oh,
Lucky
I'm
you.
sorry
So-
for you.
Yeah. But so I knew Pokemon real well. The Sun and Moon was this whole other animal. It
Yeah.
had a lot of expectations behind it, and it was going to be. We knew it was going to be big.
Right.
So the shoot followed that. It was going to be a big shoot. So if we go back in time, Sun and Moon is set in the Alola region.
Yes.
So tropical vibes, right? Islands, beaches, really cool. And so we decided the shoot location would be Costa Rica. So we arrive in Costa Rica, and first shoot day was fine. We're in the jungle, sunny, gorgeous, no problems. Second day of the shoot, we have to drive 2 hours to this remote beach. And so we get there, and it's fine. Our shoot day is going along. We're capturing the scenes that we needed. Then clouds start rolling in. The wind kind of picks up. It's just getting kind of, So no rain yet. The shoot keeps going, and we get to our final shot of the day, which is the scene that was supposed to feature Lapras. So if you go back in time and remember what was introduced in Sun and Moon, there's this Poke Ride feature.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. And then all the illustrations were like your character riding the Pokemon.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Lapras was one of the Pokemon characters that you could surf or
Yeah,
ride around.
that's right.
Mhm. So the scene was concepted where we would have a trainer on a pier overlooking the water, and you'd see Lapras sort of swimming around.
You
and,
would like CG
under the-
Lapras in
Mhm, that's right.
afterwards,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah.
So we're on this beach, and the crew had constructed this tiny pier that's sitting out in the shallow part of the water, right? And this kid was supposed to,
Oh boy.
yeah, this kid is supposed to walk out on the beach, all right, and onto the pier, and so we could get this overhead shot of him. And like I said, the wind started picking up.
Oh,
and
no.
then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. It just turned. Wind, thunder, lightning, rain. And we have like 3 grown crewmen like out in the water trying to hold this pier down from breaking up and like going out to sea.
Oh my gosh! Was the kid standing on there?
No.
Oh, and then we never saw that kid again.
Yeah. So I sent you photos. There are photos of this, and
Yeah.
you can see these men trying
I
to
remember,
hold
yeah.
this pier down, and waves like crashing over it.
This isn't real.
Yeah.
Is there no lightning concern?
No, like it happened like so fast,
Oh,
Sean.
that's
It was
so
just like all
crazy.
of a sudden like dark and like wind and rain, just so fast. Like I sent you 2 photos.
I
like,
remember that,
before and
yeah.
after. It's like calm seas and then crashing
And then
seas.
basically like the whole
Yeah.
thing just turned.
Yeah, so we're on the beach, and we're like watching this unfold, and then we just have to call it, be like, this is unsafe.
Oh,
We need to go.
God.
And then almost as soon as we made that call, this tree comes crashing down, like right in front of us. And you have a photo of this. It is like from here to that wall, like
Oh.
right in front of us. Nobody was hurt, but we're just like, okay,
Okay, really, time to go.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
So we're going back to San Jose, so it's that 2-hour drive to get back to our hotel.
And it's like a windy road. It's not like an easy drive.
This is like Costa Rica, middle of nowhere, like one road, not a highway, but like one road, nothing on the side, no store. It's like jungle.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, so let's just get a bite to eat and then let's head back. So we get some food on the side of the road, get in the van, and like we were in the van for maybe 10 minutes and we come to a standstill. Another tree had fallen in the road. So again, like waiting for somebody with the chainsaw to come out and dig us out. That happens. We keep going, another maybe 20 minutes, another tree in the road, another tree in the road, another tree in the road. So that 2-hour drive that we had to get there was 10 hours. 10 hours. But here's the other thing. That food that we got.
Oh no.
Did not sit well with all of us. There are no restrooms. There are no bathrooms. There are no toilet paper. There's no side of the road. So as we're stopping and starting this whole 10-hour drive, each of us individually are like tapping the driver on the shoulder saying,
we need to get out of the car.
And all of us are leaving our marks.
Oh no!
Some solid and some liquid on this Costa Rican road.
Oh my God.
As we're going back to our hotel. So we're all not sleeping, but we're trying to make the best of it. And we get back to the hotel. The sun is coming up. It's like 6 a.m.
And you basically drove all night.
We drove all night. It was all night. And so it's like 6 a.m. Sun's coming up. We have early morning flights. So I shower. We all shower. We're not disgusting.
We're not disgusting. You're so human.
We're
still human.
We were making a mess on the side of the road, but we're not disgusting.
We soiled ourselves.
I couldn't help it. It's not her fault.
We bonded over our disgusting selves. Anyway, so we get back, we shower, we're all in the lobby waiting for transport to the hotel.
Yeah.
And totally sleep deprived, right? And I'm looking out the window of the lobby and it looks like fog had just arrived. And I was like, blinking? What is that? And then the doors open up to the lobby and this white dust comes pouring in and people start pouring in. So on top of 10-hour drive, sleep deprived, pooping on the side of a Costa Rican road, a volcano erupted.
What?
Yeah, seriously. I was getting these updates and I'm like, I do not accept this.
Flying on top of herself.
Yeah, I was like, Monica, I don't accept this.
Biblical.
So this volcano erupts and it's just like a small cloud of dust, but it settled right on top of San Jose. And of course, there's no flights to get out because planes can't
take off when a volcano erupts.
Nope. And so we're in the lobby, sleep deprived, but clean asses, saying, okay, we're not gonna get out of Costa Rica. So we were stuck there for another couple days.
Yeah, you were there for a while. I remember. I was like, when is she coming back?
Yeah.
Is she gonna ever come back?
Yeah, we got out of there eventually.
What about the last shot?
So that's the kicker, is that we never got the lapper shot in the spot. But you still get to see the starters, you get to see the legendaries.
Yeah.
So it was still a
no
pretty
lappers,
good.
Though. So
there's no lappers. Just kidding. Yeah. I mean, it turned out okay, but
under the circumstances,
not as it was meant to be.
Yeah. Well, because a volcano erupted, so
yeah. And we got poisoned by a restaurant. Yeah.
Wow. Epic stuff.
Well, that's going to be hard to top.
Not a reshoot was like this, obviously.
Yeah, no.
We fortunately did not poop on the side of the road in Budapest, so thank God.
No. I think it's the only... Well, no, I take that back. There's some gastric distress in a couple of our shoots in Mexico City. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did travel around the world a lot, though. People think, oh, are you just shooting on a soundstage? Or are you just shooting, in a studio somewhere? No, with the Nintendo ads back in the day, I think it's a little bit less now, but back in the day, you guys went places.
Can you explain for our good viewers why you don't shoot things closer?
You mean
domestically? Yes.
Yeah. So, well, number one, for Pokemon specifically, we want to mimic the region. Right?
Yeah.
So for Scarlet and Violet, it was based off of the...
You went to Spain for that, right?
Yeah. So we want to keep it real, right? So we shot in Spain. But generally, when you have a lot of talent, there are some cost efficiencies that you
Yeah.
find when you shoot in foreign
Yeah.
areas, tax incentives, the talent
Right.
costs are cheaper, the crew costs are cheaper.
Yeah. That's why Game of Thrones, they shoot it in like Croatia, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
part
same
of it is like the beauty of the land outside of the United States.
Right.
But mostly it's just cheaper.
Fewer
Yeah,
issues
fewer
throwing
issues.
a child into a rip current. You know?
Yeah.
We never
It's
saw
frowned upon
Yeah.
here, but
little Timmy again. He washed out to sea in Costa Rica.
You have crew like y'all get out in the water,
Yeah.
all the beer down.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you definitely experienced, I think, the lowest of the lows
Yeah.
in this story. But there's some cool highs too. Like there were some really amazing shoots that you've been on. I think that just like, and also some of those Nintendo, advertisement, like the commercials and stuff are like legendary. Like
Yeah.
people talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things that Nintendo fans just like,
Yeah.
they love it. You
Yeah.
know, people talk about like that Zelda shoot. People talk about, some of these shoots all the time. So it's kind of amazing that
Yeah.
you were a part of that.
I'm forever grateful. I'm totally blessed to had been part of that team, and all of the talent, the crew, even directors had always, just gushed about like, I can't believe we're here playing Nintendo.
I know.
And so
Yeah,
it's
I
just
saw
like-
that firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
amazing.
pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's not like you're shooting a commercial for something boring,
No,
People liked it.
Yeah.
People liked us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun. Maybe not on that day
Not
when
anymore.
No, when you're tapping them on the shoulder.
This is the worst of worst story.
Yeah.
There's nothing that could.
There's no work trip story that could ever any company could
Yeah.
ever top that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you were gone for like a really long time, and I was like, when is she coming back?
What happened?
Where is she? Is she gonna be okay?
Yeah. So the receipts are, I just want to say, the receipts are, if you look, September 20th, Costa Rica, 6:20 a.m., the
Oh.
volcano did go off. It's a,
Wow.
I want to say the name, it's like Terabula or Terabila.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look it up. We were
Look
there.
it up.
It happened.
Yeah. There you go. This is real, people. This is real. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't top that story. So we're gonna go to you fine.
Not me, not me, not me.
Not me, not me, not it, not it, not
I'm like,
it.
I need to think of a soiling myself story, but I don't
Yeah.
No, I actually have a specific question for your fun.
know.
So I'm gonna roll a video here for people watching on video.
Oh.
But I will describe it for everybody listening on audio. So we were doing this thing. This was actually like Kit's idea because he was the head of like original content and Youhas was on our team. So you had this great idea of like, we should do like little desk side unboxings because
Yes.
unboxing videos were so popular at the time. And instead of having like one person do it, we would just have like people around the company
Yeah.
Yeah.
do these unboxing videos. So we would just have like on launch day, like if a game came out, somebody on our team or somebody on like the marketing team would like unwrap the game and then like show the box, whatever. But you did one that I
I
have
did.
a lot of questions about.
I did.
You
Bewildered.
filmed an unboxing video in a beautiful
Yes.
garden, the backyard of one of our other coworkers.
Yes.
This person still actually works at Nintendo.
Yes. Yes.
For Pikmin
3 Deluxe.
3 Deluxe.
3 Deluxe. Yeah.
Okay. So again, I'm gonna roll the video right here. But basically you're unwrapping the game. You look so cute. Garden is beautiful. Vibes all around. You take the plastic wrapper off of the box. And then you proceed to shove it in to the tiny hole in this person's patio table.
Like the umbrella hole?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, it is an umbrella hole. Yeah. that
Why?
is
Why?
exact-
Why
okay.
did you do
Explain
that?
yourself.
Explain yourself. Explain.
I have a few reasons for this. First of all, this was I think like tail end of pandemic, so socially we were all very awkward. So, like being on camera, like because I remember it was our colleagues like backyard, so like showed up to their house and like we had masks on and everything, and then I just remember I had like a script written down, and like the show must go on, so like sometimes you're just like going, and then I didn't even think about the unwrapping, even though it's literally called Nintendo Unbox. I didn't think about the unboxing part, and like I was just like, oh, I gotta deliver these messages. So I'm like, so I just like instinctively just put it in there because I didn't want it to blow away. You know what I mean?
See?
So I was like,
See?
I gotta put it in the hole so it doesn't blow away.
Did you take it out afterwards?
No, we did. We threw it away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. You didn't leave the
save
garbage.
here.
Environmentally
Yeah,
conscious.
it's not still there.
It's still, we go to our house right now. It's still shoved in the umbrella.
The funny thing is, we had our other colleague who was editing it. He was like, "I'm just gonna keep it in." I was like, okay.
I know.
I was like, "I thought you were gonna edit it out." He's
No.
like, no. I'm just
No,
gonna keep it in.
he has to come on this podcast too. I just saw him.
Yeah.
Our other colleagues at
Yes.
Capcom now.
Yes.
So
Yes. He is.
calling him out. He was editing the video and he was like, I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I'm gonna keep it in. We were just trolling you.
Yeah, he messaged me. He was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm gonna keep this in because it's just so stupid. We need to just keep it." I was like, "Okay, I mean, I guess." But now I have to like explain myself years later.
Yeah, I'm never gonna let you live this down, by the way.
Was it a long process though? Were you like stuffing it in
Yes.
there for a
It
while?
was because
Watch the video.
I mean, those those plastics are also like very thin, so it was kind of like getting away from me. So I was like, "Okay, I gotta."
And it was like noisy. It's like
Crinkly.
It was noisy.
Yeah.
But those holes usually just
It was
go,
ASMR.
Just go to nowhere.
why didn't it just fall through?
I think I did it well enough where it just stuck there, but
It was,
I
like,
can't
jammed
remember. I can't
in
remember
there.
if it fell all the way down. But you're right. There is no. It was not. Didn't make sense in the moment, but
You had reasons.
I just had to keep going. I was like, we're getting
Pick
this one
the
shot.
Deluxe though. We need to keep going.
We have to keep going.
Look
also,
at this box.
You can't rewrap.
You only
it.
have one game.
You only have one game.
You have one
so,
chance.
I can
One
rewrap it. And
chance.
do it. So I was like, okay.
That's
we're
true.
good.
You don't. That's true. You only had there was a one take,
Yeah.
and then we would edit it together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that you've,
Glad we got
I'm
clarity.
very glad to hear that there was thought behind this
There was
because I
thought.
was just like, what is happening? I don't understand. But yeah, that's my like needle question for you. But what other things do you want to chat about?
I mean, I wish I had more like a more fun story, but one thing I thought would be fun to talk about was like just like our E3 experiences every year.
Yes.
Because
And that's gone now too.
And it's
Yeah.
gone now
Yeah.
too, so
Yeah.
it's almost like even more of a bygone thing. But I always remember like cons people. I feel like we're so dramatic sometimes. Like we had something called the War Room. Remember?
Yes.
Like
Oh yeah.
literally the War Room, which is like I think actually this is common across like other cons teams
Yeah.
everywhere. But
Yeah.
like, it's just like a crisis room, that you
Right.
sit in during E3, and that's where you like panic about things.
Yeah. It's like a room to panic and to avoid.
Yes.
Like, don't you think that people that know better, like all of us,
Yeah.
we just
Oh,
wouldn't
never
go
go
in
in the
No.
war.
Don't go
Just
in
don't go in
there.
there.
because there are people in there
People in there are
panicking.
freaking out.
Yeah.
They haven't left in weeks. They're just like,
true.
the world is ending out there. The crazies are gonna get us.
But
No.
the problem is that if you
It's
ever
a
needed to
panic
find
room. Yeah.
someone, you always knew, okay, let's go to the War Room and see if they're there.
Yeah.
But I remember that's also where we would like house down and like watch the directs when they're having live. So,
Right.
I actually remember. I think we all know like how secretive like Nintendo could be in general, like even internally, And so I do remember like this con scene especially. We usually get to see like the directs like a little bit beforehand,
Right.
So we can, like do all the prep and all that kind of stuff. But the one year, I think it was the last in person. I can't remember.
2017.
2017 or 18. It was the year that we announced Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh, so
Uh,
2019.
19?
Yeah.
That was the last
Yes,
E3.
Yeah, that was the last
that was
in-person
the last
one, yeah.
I just remember because I think some of us probably had so like basically at the very tail end, the last thing was
Yeah.
Breath of the
And
Wild
no one
2.
knew.
No, so nobody knew, which I thought was like the coolest thing for me because
Me
like
too.
I
Yeah.
feel like we become so jaded sometimes.
Right.
Like we're like, oh, we know everything that's coming out, and like
Yeah.
forget that we're fans too. And
Yeah.
so like I remember sitting in the War Room. It was mainly the comm scene, remember? 'Cause
Yeah.
we were like,
Camille,
this, we're
me,
there.
you. I remember
we were
that,
all
yeah.
there, and then like the direct ended, and we thought it ended. We're like, okay, time to get back to work or whatever. And then like we literally like it started like playing the music and all that kind of stuff. We were all like freaking out.
Yeah.
In the War Room. So I don't know.
We had like a fan reaction.
We
We
really
didn't know.
did. Yeah, which I feel like we just rarely get
Yeah.
sometimes.
So
and
true.
and so I always remember that moment because I feel like it's just so fun and like I don't know, but we literally found out the same time that everybody else. Like, the
Yeah,
fans
and
found
I
out,
think
you know?
the only person in that room that knew was our like boss's boss, which is like our like VP.
Yeah.
Was the only person that knew, and she was looking at us.
She
was
was-
like
I
watching
remember-
our
looking
face.
at
She
us.
was, and me and Camille were like
She was
clinging to
basically-
each other. We were like,
Yeah.
we were like freaking out, and she was just like laughing and because she knew that
Yes.
we would probably have that reaction. But I remember
Yes.
her like looking at us. She was like, "Are you guys surprised?" And we were like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, I remember her. She was basically like twiddling her, whatever it's called when you do the thing. with
Yeah,
your
she was
hands.
like,
She's,
"Wah,
watching us, like, I
yeah."
can't wait to see you guys like freak out. But
Yeah.
I just remember all of us screaming in the room and like, it's just like a fun moment. where the war room became a happy room. I don't know.
Yeah, for
Or
that 2 minutes.
Yeah, and
then back to
back to
panicking.
back to panicking and
Yeah.
panicking,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I always thought that was an interesting phenomenon of people who have seen that direct probably like a dozen times. Like, well, now we're going to watch it together. It's like,
Yeah.
isn't there time better spent doing something
Yeah.
else than watching this
Yeah.
thing
You watch,
again?
like,
I don't
every
know.
edit of this thing.
Yeah,
But it
I
was
worked on that
fun.
too, but I was not in that room. I was somewhere else
You were somewhere
because I think
else.
again I was like, I know what
You
this
were like
is.
busy.
Yeah.
Also, you hated the war room.
Yeah,
so you
I'm not
avoided
going in
it at all
there. I
costs.
can't believe they still call it a war room. That is still like a
That's
standard name.
Doesn't that feel like?
It's not that serious.
Also, it feels like it
Yeah.
could be like offensive because it's like they're actually real wars.
Right.
So
Yeah.
maybe we
Wars
should
are
call it-
happening.
It's not that
Yes.
serious.
You should
We're,
call
we're
it
trying
that.
to be very dramatic about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. But that is definitely a place to avoid.
Yes.
Like whenever we had E3 and stuff, it's like don't go in there.
Yeah.
Something scary is going. So they're gonna get pulled into something. You
Yeah,
know.
because there's a bunch of people on laptops like really looking really stressed. Like
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
staring at a tweet or something, panicking.
The upstairs meeting rooms at E3, I don't know if they still have these.
Yeah, they did.
But
Yeah.
when I was there, the upstairs meeting rooms were, you definitely wanted to avoid because the whole building would
Yes.
Shake,
Yeah.
yeah.
People would
And
get
I
like
remember one
seasick.
time, like we had a bunch of people from retailers
Yeah.
that were getting sick. Like it was supposed to be demonstrating the
It's a
Wii
negotiation.
Sports Club, Wii U Sports
You agree.
Club,
Oh, yeah.
and you were doing like the
Yeah, you're
bobsled or
physically
the
moving.
luge.
Oh,
And
yeah.
people
bobsled.
were losing
Bend
it.
over.
They were just like running down the
You would
stairs.
hear
Turn over and
it
keep.
cracking, right? And
Yeah.
so much, I mean, it's not like
And the whole
constant
thing was
sound.
Right.
shaking.
Well, they built it like a day before.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's a gentle breeze. Could not
Yeah, but it would sway like a lot.
Right,
And then
right.
we would film up there in the camera.
You could see
Sometimes
it.
in the
You could see it.
in the footage, you can see the walls moving around and stuff. It's really,
pretty
it's
weird.
like very, it's like a mind. Like your mind is like, how's this working? How am I still like
Quite
up
a few
here?
meetings got delayed because of the
Oh.
motion sickness.
Motion sickness.
Sorry, the room fell apart. So we can't do this meeting anymore.
You like give everyone like Dramamine on the way up. Like you're gonna need this.
Have a cracker.
Have
Thank you later.
Club so have a little ginger ale. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I feel like we were there during that sort of E3 era
Yeah.
too, which was also kind of a special thing because we all were like part of it to some degree. Monica, you used to do the YouTube uploads. That was the worst job ever.
Oh.
There's
Well, that's
another.
stressful,
That's
yeah.
another story.
I said, okay, you had to come back for that.
So before there was a social media team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there before.
That was me.
Yeah, yeah, you would be in that room. That
Yeah.
we call it the kitchen. You would be in
No,
the kitchen.
It wasn't called the kitchen. It
It was the kitchen.
Actually, a kitchen.
I was facing like a stove and a refrigerator. Yeah, it was a coffee machine.
I thought it was
a
called.
kitchen.
I thought it was called a kitchen because people were like cooking in there.
No. It was a kitchen. It was just a step above a break
literally
room.
cooking.
Oh, I didn't know that. I really did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a
No.
nickname for the people, like the
Yeah.
production team that was like cooking. They're like
Wow.
cooking in there.
funniest
Gotta let them cook.
The funniest thing is that the building that we were in was
Oh my
like
God, so
the,
funny, I'm
I
crying.
want to say the AEG building.
Yes,
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
so
AEG
the,
building.
the building was
Oh my God,
made
seriously
for
crying.
production.
Right.
Exactly.
And we were producing, but we didn't get a room that was made for production. There's like, just put them in the kitchen.
Okay, seriously, I never knew that until
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
I thought you guys were just a nicknaming. So you were like in the actual kitchen.
Yeah.
Doing the
Yeah,
production
so
stuff.
this was like
Oh boy.
before Nintendo had a Facebook channel.
Yeah.
Before,
Before
it was
Twitter.
before there was Instagram existed.
Yeah. No, it was like early
Like YouTube
days.
was like kind of the first.
Yeah, we would just put the ads on there. Remember
That's
that?
right,
And
'cause-
trailers and
Yeah,
stuff.
because that's where the video content came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it made sense that the advertising team would,
Because you guys
Control
had
that.
most of the videos.
and we
at the
also
time,
ran
yeah.
ads on YouTube.
Right.
So it's just like we just controlled that ecosystem.
Oh
so
my
I was the
gosh.
person assigned
To like that giant
to
spreadsheet.
upload all of our
uploads.
videos to YouTube. And then during E3, which is critically important, like everything just like goes public. And so
And it has to be like this timing was all it was like a
Yeah.
very complex
yeah, so I was
process.
sitting shoulder to shoulder with the web team because they were updating
The website and
Nintendo.com
stuff. Yeah.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
And so we were just all like just doing our thing
Oh my god.
till like 3:00 in the morning.
It was horrible. Yeah.
That's a bad job.
And then I would like come find you
Nobody
like
wants that.
days
Yeah.
later. It was
Yeah.
like
am I with hair?
like it was yes. It was like I see you like go into the kitchen on like a Friday before E3,
Yeah.
and I
You don't
come
see
and I
me.
come find you at on like Wednesday night,
Mhm.
And then I'd be like, are you still live? And you'd be like, oh, like, oh, what day is it? What time is it? How many videos have we uploaded? Like, oh my God, I need a break. We would like trying to drag you out at night to take a break. I remember you were there that one time. We were like texting her. We were like, can you come out for like dinner?
It's so bad for her.
I know.
She's locked in this room.
Yeah. Okay, I did not know it was an actual kitchen, though. I really didn't know.
Wait, is it because the kitchen had the best Wi-Fi, or is it like the?
I have no idea.
Just what they could get.
I have no idea.
I got a deal.
I have no idea. We did 2 years in that kitchen, and then like
2 years.
Wow.
two V3s in that kitchen, and then then we finally got a conference room in the JW.
That's
Right,
right.
right.
Then it got,
Yeah.
like,
We got upgraded.
We
Big time.
upgraded. Big time now.
Yeah.
And then there was like also one year where someone's
It was in a
actual
suite.
room. It was like someone's suite.
Yeah.
Someone was still sleeping in that.
I remember that.
I think by that time I moved on.
You didn't do that anymore. It was
I
like
think
a different.
I think it did 3 years.
Yeah,
so-
someone else.
Yeah, I had to drop something
Then
off
it's
in that room
social
once, and it was nasty
It
in
was
there.
gross.
It was real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but someone was legit like still sleeping in
Yeah.
that room.
Yeah.
I was like, who is
I
this
remember
person
hearing.
that-
So I remember hearing that story.
That's kind of weird.
It wasn't
It
in the
was
room.
unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Okay, Sean, you were telling me a story that I'd completely forgotten about before we
Yeah.
started.
Did you just pre-screen all the stories?
No, he told me right
what is
like
this?
5 minutes ago. You were
We're so
there.
excited.
So it was actually the anniversary of it just recently happened.
Oh.
It was
Really?
just
Oh.
before the launch of Wii U.
Oh.
I remember my manager at the time said somebody from sales has worked out a deal with QVC and they're going to show the Wii U on QVC. I think it was like a week before launch, and needed somebody to go down to Tampa. And I guess I was the last
You were the
person.
lucky person.
Everybody else said no, and so
Yeah.
I flew to Tampa with yourself and this person from sales, and the mess started almost as soon as we got out. There was no run of show.
When you told me this, I was like, I totally forgot about this, and it's because I blocked it out because it was so bad. Yeah.
So you were on air talent the whole time, like
Right.
doing your thing and trying to corral.
Like herding cats of the QVC hosts.
QVC hosts that wanted to say all kinds of things about the product. Almost none of it was actually true. I mean, I guess part of my job, in addition to carrying the Wii U down, was to try and keep them on message. So when they were talking about the camera and the tablet, they decided to, this is live on air, tell everybody, like, yes, you can take pictures with the tablet and print them out right from the tablet. On the side.
I was like, you can't?
can't do
Not a thing. No.
And one thing that Nintendo was always very adamant about is like, you gotta wear the wrist straps. You gotta wear the wrist straps. And so whenever a new host was coming on, I was telling them, you gotta wear the wrist straps. You need to see the wrist
Grabbing
straps.
their hands.
And this one host was particularly dismissive about wearing the wrist strap. And so I really needed to drive home with him, like, you need to wear the wrist strap. He eventually seemed to get a little bit annoyed and kind of walked off. And so
Stormed
a
off
production
the
assistant
set?
on the set
What?
kind of pulled me aside and was like, hey, do you know who he is? And I'm like, no, I'm not brushed up on my QVC host.
You know who he is.
And she told me a story about when the Wii launched. He was demoing and did not wear his wrist strap and put the Wii remote right through the TV screen live on QVC. So I guess it was still a little sore subject.
Fresh
with
for him.
But he did wear his wrist strap.
Thank
Well,
goodness.
But we were there for like 24 hours.
It was
like,
crazy.
on set for
Right.
24 hours.
Right,
like,
right.
Trying to catch a few minutes of sleep where we could. And then finally they were like, okay, we're going to do, I guess it was going to be the big finale or whatever. They wanted to play one of the Nintendo Land games. And so
Yeah.
we need a couple more people.
Yeah.
And they grabbed me and Kirk
Yeah.
and
Who was
a
the other
couple
guy
of
on the
their
team at the
hosts,
time,
and
yeah.
it was probably like 3 or 4 in the morning, like trying to make this game.
Oh.
And the game is fun, but like at that point, like nothing.
There was
fun.
nothing that's fun. You haven't slept in like so
Literally,
long.
I was like
Yeah.
trying to catch Mario and Nintendo, and hosts weren't very good either. But
Right.
like, we needed it to last for so long. So like,
Yeah,
at
that was
various
the thing
points,
with
like,
the QVC stuff is that like it was like, you know, one of those things where like the longer you last, the more they sell.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole point of it. It was like
Mhm.
before like TikTok, you know, guys,
Yeah.
it's like old school, right? It was like the home shopping network kind of thing.
and Kirk and I were like kind of glancing at each other. We were
Yeah.
like we can't end this. We can't catch him. Like, and so we and then just dive in the wrong way. We've got to keep it going. And we were all just miserable. We were so tired and hungry. I remember
Yeah.
after we finished, like there was like an Applebee's or something like that. We're like, I'll eat at Applebee's.
I don't care anymore. Yeah.
Did you see the knife guy? Was he the knife guy there? The
Oh, the
QVC
QVC
knife
knife
guy.
guy.
No,
Oh.
there was a like a holiday extravaganza set.
Okay.
Yeah.
so-
It was
okay.
like right before, like it was like Black Friday-ish
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of thing,
it-
right?
it-
Yeah.
It was like mid-November.
Did we sell any?
We did. We actually sold out.
We sold out?
Sold out.
I remember we were
The lying worked.
we were a little stressed about it because it was it was like right before the launch, and we're like, if this goes on air and doesn't sell out, like
Like we're
that's
really
not going to be good.
that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did sell out. It
Yeah.
did.
We did okay with Wii U at launch, but it really fizzled
Yeah.
out fast.
Yeah.
It kind of like went up and then it just nosedived.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad we sold out.
I will to this day defend, like, the Wii U had some amazing games.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I
Fantastic.
agree.
Like-
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nintendo Land, I love
Yeah.
Nintendo Land. Yeah,
Yeah.
like so many of them, and I think it's a testament to the quality of the games that
Yeah.
when they were
Especially towards the
re-released on
end, too.
Switch,
Yeah.
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 you
Like Mario
were
Kart 8.
gangbusters.
How it sold like how many
How it's
mil-
still selling,
Yeah.
selling
Australians.
millions
I
of
know, it was
copies
after
still?
it.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
kidding.
But yeah, there were some good games on that
Yeah.
platform. Some rough times. in the
Limited
office.
by the hardware,
The
but
rest
games
were
were
good.
good.
Yeah.
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 Oh my gosh, that's
Swallowing the Wii U pill after Wii was really tough.
was
Yeah.
a tough pill. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were all pretty down,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was a bonding moment to
Yeah.
us. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we really bonded
Certainly.
through that.
Bonded through trauma.
Yeah, it is trauma bonding. You have a Wii U story too, actually.
Do I?
You have many stories.
I have so many. Which one were you thinking about?
Your Miiverse story.
Oh, the Nieves story. Okay.
We were just talking about how we kind of missed the Miiverse a little bit recently.
Bring it back.
Do you think we should bring it
Bring it
back?
back.
What do you think? Do you guys think we should
With-
bring Miiverse back to like
I would
Switch
bring
2?
Street Pass back before.
Yeah.
Street Pass was fun.
Street
Yeah.
Pass was.
Yeah.
I remember
Street Pass
when
is
Mr.
great.
Iwata was in our office, and we all
Yeah,
went
everybody was
around.
like,
Yeah.
Need to get it?
That was incredible.
yes, I got it. Yeah.
It was like creepy because that office that he was in had no curtains, like no blinds, so it was just like a
You
fish
just see
tank,
him.
and then it was just like a,
Like a line of people.
Like,
I know, green light, yes.
Just following him.
It was creepy, but like a little stalkerish, but kind of
Yeah.
cute. I think he
It
kind of
was.
I
We
think he
all
kind of
did.
liked it.
Oh man, we all honored him so much.
I know,
right?
Yeah.
it's so true, so true.
I was fortunate to have volunteered for a lot of media events and
Yeah.
consumer events with you guys, right? You guys were kind enough to invite me. The one that you're talking about was where I was in South by Southwest. I think that was one of the first years in which we
Mhm.
actually had a booth.
And that was
Yeah.
when that event was like super hot. Like people were
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
It was in the summer.
everybody that is anybody goes to South by Southwest now. Like that is the like forget PAX and all that stuff. Like we need to be at this show."
It was a really cool
Okay.
space, and like
Yeah.
you could tell they actually like thought it through, right?
Mhm.
So I was asked to demo one of the stations, which was showcasing Miiverse.
I don't know why you needed a person to demo
How do you do that?
Miiverse.
How do you
I
do
don't
that?
know. And it was, I had no idea I was going to be doing that, and they didn't give me any like preparatory materials at all. So
No.
I went in there and I was like, okay, what should I talk about here, right? Everyone else had cool games, right? Like, Nintendo Land and some of the cool things that we had there.
Yeah.
Mine was one of the only stations that actually was connected live. So it was actually hooked up to the internet because you wanted to see the actual live feed, right?
Right.
And so my whole invitation to just talk to me, because I'm like, please just talk to me. Standing on this, the floor for like 8 hours, and like everyone knowingly wants to avoid me, right? And so my thing was like, if you talk to me, I'll give you a sticker that gets you like a little like
Trinket
swag
or
event,
something.
right?
Yeah.
So it was a minute and a half, and one of the parts of that spiel was, let me show you the really cool social media aspect of this, right? So there's a feed where people can upload their art. You see some really talented artists there, right? Like incredible drawings.
How did they do that on a gamepad is like amazing.
It's
to
incredible.
Me. Yeah,
People
really.
do, right? And so I had this whole spiel about, we have really good content moderation. We're making sure that everything is really
fun talking
safe. And it was live internet, right? And so scrolling through, I unfortunately scrolled past something that included some expletives, and I'm like, oh. And that was at a time where I was showcasing to a mother.
No.
Oh, no.
So I scrolled through it really quickly. I don't think she caught a glimpse of it, thankfully. And that was my feedback back to the Treehouse.
Yeah.
Our recap is like, I don't know if we should be doing a live feed. This feels kind of risque.
Yeah, no, that was like a real eye-opener, I think, for Japan, Nieves.
Yeah.
We shared some stories before because we were like kind of the first people for them to like test it out on. And they just bit off way more than they could chew with having like a social feed. Like that was before the time of like widespread social media, and like I remember the first like weekend booting that up, it was just all like bad words, pictures of body parts.
Was not wholesome at all.
Not wholesome.
So really talented artists.
Really talented, realistic drawings. And I remember like we sent the feedback back to the team in Japan. They're like, why are Americans so obsessed with this particular part of the body? We're like, don't look at us.
You're not?
You're not? Like, what's the deal? But it was just like, they were like shocked. But I guess it was very not like, it's like a cultural thing. I don't know what the deal is with America, but apparently that's the thing. And they were just shocked. They were like, oh, we better have like better moderation. I'm like, get going. Like,
to work around the clock on this.
Yeah.
You had such good art there. Like, I remember seeing like some articles from IGN or some other outlets of all the incredible fan art that was like showcased on there.
Yeah.
It's a shame that got drowned out
by all this other stuff.
The other stuff.
Yeah, too bad. Yeah, really too bad. But that was pretty funny too, because they were just like, I think they totally did not expect it. They were really taken by surprise. Slapped in the face, like, whoa!
Surprise and delight.
They were surprised and maybe not so delighted. Yeah, oh my gosh, that's so funny. And then, of course, you were on Nintendo Minute for like many episodes. You were on Nintendo Minute for many episodes.
A few, I think it was on one or two, yeah.
Yeah, and you are one of the best Smash players that I know. You were certainly one of the best ones in the office.
Well,
maybe the best one in our office.
I would say that I was when we first started off, but funny enough, you find here is the one who eliminated me from the
right, because we had an in-office tournament. Yeah, I forgot.
You eliminated him?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I have not moved on from this, clearly.
And now we're going to have a showdown right now.
No, because now I remember it was an office tournament. I ended up getting second because I lost to Joe.
Joe is very good.
This is the new class that came in after me, way above.
But your main is who nowadays?
It depends on the iteration, right? So like on the 3DS, Yoshi. Black Yoshi with the yellow.
Yoshi.
Oh, man.
Sean got trolled by the Yoshi.
You're one of those people.
So delightful.
What are the damn eggs you choose? Enough with the egg.
The edge guarding with the eggs, man.
So fun. Yeah.
Who's your main?
I use Zelda.
Zelda?
Yeah, in the newest one I use Zelda.
Oh, interesting. That was hard to play.
Yeah, but I remember my biggest mistake in life was during the
life.
finals.
In life?
The finals against Joe, I was like, I'm gonna switch it up and use Pit, and then I lost. I was like, oh, I just got freaked out because I was like, Joe's so good. I know he's gonna.
I just need a challenge.
I need to change it up.
It's gonna be too easy.
He got in your head.
I got in my head.
Yeah.
I was like,
you overthought it.
Because I also use Pit a lot, but I was like, oh, like Joe's probably used to my Zelda. So
oh, you tried to play mind games and it failed you.
I mind gamed myself.
Yeah.
Those tournaments in the office.
Oh, very intense.
Remember the crown?
Yes.
The final crown?
Remember what happened when he walked out and they got in really big trouble?
We were robbed.
That's why I walked out.
There's some cheaters.
Burn it down.
There's some cheaters.
That was not
Judging
fair.
was not consistent.
That was
Hometown refs for sure.
hometown reps were so dirty, and we answered that trivia question right, and we were on time, and we had good spelling, and they didn't take that.
We can't do
answer.
that. We can't do this.
Our spelling was
we can't do this again.
It was immaculate. Tom's team, we were doing it all. And I couldn't believe that.
But yeah, and I mean, I guess we should maybe, for the listeners and watchers, set the stage a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's what, weeks long event in
Yeah.
between offices. There were 4 different
Inter-offices,
offices.
yep.
Each one has a team. Redmond always won.
Well, because they
But-
had Treehouse on their team.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this year, some scrappy upstarts from Redwood City led the entire.
We were so
time.
We
good.
got
were
good.
so far.
We got
Yeah.
really good.
And it was almost like they were picking the games for us. Like,
Yeah.
It was so perfect.
And we
suited for
had
us.
the teams for
And-
every game. Like that Just Dance one that me and
Oh,
Adam
yeah,
and Kate
that's
Grant
right.
and Brian, we killed it.
Ex Ubisoft people
Yeah.
We
at
killed it.
Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah.
for the
There's
Just
a great
Dance
photo
game.
of us, like in the cute little outfits, like the dance outfits. We looked real good. It
And-
was fun.
So we get to the final day, and the Kirkland and who's the other
New York?
North Bend.
North
North
Bend.
Bend.
North Bend.
They were eliminated.
Yeah,
of course.
whatever.
Wow.
But we were in a situation where we could have basically
Taking it.
done nothing and still won.
Yeah.
And there was this mysterious mystery question at the end that
Yes.
essentially negated the prior 4 weeks. Like,
Right.
if you got this question correct,
And we did
Mario
get it
Party
right.
esque.
Very Mario Party. Yeah.
We did get the question right. wasn't
We got it right.
We got it right.
They said it was
They
wrong.
said it was no. They said it was not within the time limit. They were like, "You have 10 seconds to answer this question." We put the answer up.
It
and
was
they
so-
just like they were like looking everywhere but at
I
the
was like,
screen.
It was like a
Hello?
technicality loophole kind of thing.
That's
Yeah.
why you walked out.
Right. That's why I
We
let a
totally
walk
got
out.
blue shelled.
Right.
For,
Yes,
Mario
we did.
Party
And then we let a
reference,
walk
but,
out,
like,
and
yes.
then Kit's boss like yelled at him and said,
I was glad to take the career hit
and
for
then
this.
it was a career hit. He was like, "You are
You're
a
not a
member
team
of
player."
the leadership.
Yeah.
You cannot incite this kind of like." Bad morale, bad blood. And I think I was like, that seriously happened to
Yeah,
you? Like,
that happened.
that is a real, that's like the volcano. I'm like, I do not accept this. Oh my gosh, they will never leave. They
In my
were
mind,
dirty
we won.
cheaters.
Yeah.
Like,
We were the winners.
The trophy could say whatever they wanted. to
We
say.
should go
Well, they don't do that
trophy.
anymore. So
They don't do that
Yeah.
anymore.
That was
Yeah.
the last one we should have done.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
We
Oh my
asked,
God.
thank you all for sharing your stories. Again, to continue the Thanksgiving spirit,
Oh,
we
the
asked
vibes.
our Patreon subscribers to share something that they are thankful for
Aw,
personally. So we got
that's
some great
nice.
responses. Let's start with one from Kyle LeBoeuf, who says, I'm thankful that in such a huge year for video games, there is really something for everyone. Casual fans, hardcore fans, family games, RPGs, platformers, gamers ate this year and ate well.
That's right.
True statements, yes.
Very true. Almost too many games. Almost.
I'm still eating.
I'm gorging.
Joshy Josh says, I'm thankful for games I can play with my friends online. I live alone and work from home, and especially since it's getting cold outside, I don't love leaving the house. However, with so many amazing multiplayer games, it makes it easy for me to still socialize with my friend group on a normal basis without always having to leave the house when it's freezing outside.
I like that one.
Yes.
Yes. We didn't have that as kids. Online multiplayer was not something we grew up with.
No.
So
The Kegger says, I'm thankful that the Mario movie turned out to be as amazing as I hoped it would be. I personally loved it and have been waiting for this movie since I was a kid. So glad it was successful and will spawn many movies to come. Real fast, did you like or dislike the Mario movie, all of you?
Loved it.
Love, yeah.
You went from like to
I
like.
didn't feel like love was an option. I thought it was like or
It's
It's
like
a, it's a thumbs up or thumbs
dislike. I
down.
was like, I didn't think I loved it.
Okay, good.
did you see it yet? She's
You haven't seen it?
She's in pain. She doesn't want to
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
still not ready.
She's not
Oh,
ready.
that's fascinating.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm not ready for it.
She
Okay.
needs to heal her soul after
Yeah.
what happened to her.
Okay,
I honestly, I still miss Nintendo.
Yeah. it's like too hard.
okay,
you know?
okay.
We saw it together.
I'm a sensitive soul.
Yes, she is.
Let's move on to the next question. Megan says, I'm thankful that Nintendo's creative team is still top notch and they're still able to innovate and push the boundaries in their 35-year-old game series. Both Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Super Mario Wonder brought Yet new, fresh experiences to what could be tired old games. I am thankful that Mario and Zelda are still both amazingly fun games to play, and I can wallow in my nostalgia and experience something new at the same time.
Well said.
Yes.
Well said.
Not every 35-year-old series is still, doing great. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sorry. Just had twist the knife there. Is it?
It's doing okay.
Yeah. Well, it's almost time to talk about all the games that we're playing. Might have some fresh games to talk about beyond the stuff that we've always been playing. But first, we're going to take a moment to shout out our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by Factor. Thank you very much. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all your holiday to-dos.
That is such a true statement. Like, we are really now. You've been not dreading, but you've been like nervously counting the days until we're in the thick of the holidays, which is, I think, kicked off by Thanksgiving here in the US at least. And we're just like in it now. We're in it, people.
It's all about making the most of your time, because before you know it, boom, it's going to be, it's Thanksgiving today as we are releasing this episode. Yeah. Before you know it, it's going to be Christmas, but Factor has more than 35 weekly meals that are all great. They're ready in a snap and can help you make the most of this limited amount of time that we have here.
Yeah, it's so true. And everything is never frozen. It's really easy to heat up 2 minutes in the microwave. The food is really delicious, and it's perfect if you are trying to watch you're eating a little bit, as you are probably expected to eat a lot more stuff that's not in your current diet during the holidays with family and friends. So great way to stay on track with these really healthy meals and things like that.
Yeah, and in addition to the meals, you can get more than 45 add-ons, things like breakfast items like apple cinnamon pancakes, bacon cheddar egg bites, also one of my favorites, the cold press juices. We had a chance to try those recently.
Juices.
Excellent
So
stuff.
good.
So such a wide range of things that you can get through Factor.
Yeah.
So head to factormeals.com/KitandKrysta50 and use code KitandKrysta50 to get 50% off. That's code KitandKrysta50 at factormeals.com/KitandKrysta50 to get 50% off.
And we will put the link right over here and in the description below.
And we're back. Why don't one of you kick us off with a game that you're playing that you'll have to talk about? Anything? Another 1,000 hours in Rocket League?
You did play so much.
You could have become like a commercial airline pilot, but you chose to become a Rocket League player.
It's a shame, honestly. You would think that would translate to me being better, but you're the same mistakes, just on the same level there. No, a game that I'm playing that I told Chris about is a game on the Switch called Wild Frost. I personally loved Slay the Spire, right?
Yeah,
so card-based games.
Yeah.
This is another kind of card-based game. Endless replayability. So fantastic little indie game. Highly recommended.
Nice.
I'm playing Spider-Man 2 at the moment.
I've been telling you to text me about Spider-Man. You refuse to text me.
Yes,
Why is that?
So
I've been trying to spoil him.
I've been a little busy the past couple of weeks with my real job, and so I haven't had as much time for gaming. But I'm off this week, and so I'm looking forward to
you're digging into
to really getting into Spider-Man.
It's so fantastic.
And I have Cyberpunk that I need to get back to.
Yes.
With the new DLC, or I guess not new anymore, but new to me. And I really want to try Baldur's Gate.
That's what I'm playing.
You are?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm playing that. I'm like 100 hours in.
You'll need to skip 100 hours.
I'm very tired,
Sean.
I'm very tired. I'm like, I just need to finish this now, or this is never gonna end.
Are you just? It didn't take you 100 hours.
I think I ended up around 70, but if you do all the side stuff, like you can really.
Wow.
I'm one of those people though. I can't, like, if I see it there, like
I gotta do
You
it.
have to do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like ignore you.
What character did you like? What's your class?
I'm
and
a
stuff?
high elf.
Oh, that's what I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
High elf cleric. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm a mage. Or the magic.
Whatever the magic
sorcerer,
was. Yeah, there's like so many.
Yeah.
There's kind of like choice paralysis in this game.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. There's so many things. I'm just gonna choose a cleric. You know.
Yeah.
I'm playing Baldur's Gate. I'm also playing Mario RPG Remake on Switch.
Perfect.
For me, it's funny because like I have played when I was a kid. I played that game over and over and over, but I had the Japanese version for some reason,
Oh.
and I couldn't read Japanese, so I played it with the strategy guide,
Uh-huh.
the printout magazine strategy guide, and I only knew what was going on because of the strategy guide.
So you didn't read any of the dialogue or anything?
Oh, that's so
I don't
interesting.
know any of the dialogue.
Wow.
So it's all it's kind of
Whoa.
new to me, but it's the same. It's really weird, but that's why it's amazing right now. It's,
Oh
So
my
now you're
gosh.
finally hearing the
Yeah,
jokes and all
'cause
that stuff.
Actually, I never really understood. I never
Or reading the
understood
jokes.
jokes because I couldn't read them. But then everything else, I remember.
Like the
really
story
vividly.
you remember.
Story, everything.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
remember really vividly.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're playing that game.
Yes, I played the first couple hours. So we've been streaming that game, and we're not all the way at the end. So I need to make sure I don't pass
Okay.
where we
I
are
see.
in that.
Oh, you're trying to be real pure here.
I am.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't think you were.
But yeah, that version's really good. It was amazing. Seeing people talking about it online. It was one of the most unanimously positive reactions to a game release that
Yeah.
I've seen in a long time. Where
Right.
people are just oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
This is the power of
playing this game.
nostalgia,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
People just have rose-colored glasses on. Any
Right.
fault this game has will be
Ignored.
immediately ignored,
Yeah.
exactly, because you just remember your innocent childhood. And how could you not love it,
Yeah.
I didn't have this experience because I didn't play this game as a child, so I will be criticizing it. I'm just kidding.
Have you started? You haven't started
I haven't
playing.
started
No,
playing
no.
yet. I haven't started playing yet. But yeah, I was thinking about that. I was I wonder what my experience will be, because I'm one of the few people that I know that didn't play this game as a kid.
Mhm.
So I have no fond memories.
Well, hopefully you have a memory of us streaming it last week.
Not really. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
I have a terrible short-term memory.
No, it's really good so far, and they haven't changed that much.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was a lot that really needed to be changed because it holds up so well. We
Right.
found that out as we were streaming it. It's still
Yeah.
super fun to play. It's a very breezy game. You can get through it in 10 hours.
Yeah.
I now have it super fresh in my mind of what we're doing, but I was going through it real fast.
Yeah.
And there's side stuff and secrets if you want to get into that. And I've heard people saying they've added some new post-game
Oh,
content, which is cool. I also think it looks really nice.
Yeah.
I thought there would be some people who maybe didn't like the look because it just looks very clean.
It's kind of almost plastic.
It
look
does,
to it,
right? And I know
it
some
has
people don't love that look, but I really like it. And I feel like a lot of people of what I've seen online
Mhm.
really like it as well.
That's what's cool about this game too, is because I do remember some things from what we streamed, is some of the enemies or some of the other characters that's not Mario or
Right.
Peach Bowser or whatever, they look, I can't tell.
You could squint at it and see 3 different things.
It's
What am I
is it?
looking at?
What
This
am I
garbled
looking at? It's very,
monster.
because it's graphics back then, right? And now they've remade it, obviously. So I'm what does this enemy actually look like? I'm really curious because
It still looks
I
weird.
just saw-
Yeah,
They're
still bizarre.
some of them are
interesting.
really
Right,
weird
right.
looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see that cake though.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
the
one of my
cake,
favorite
yeah.
scenes,
I really want to
yeah.
see the cake, high res cake,
Yeah.
because that could be
Because it
cool.
looks so good.
I risk.
It looked good.
Yeah, it looked
Nintendo is good at making cakes look good.
Yeah,
So I want to
yeah,
look at
it's
this
true.
cake. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, but now we've seen so many different takes on Mario. We see movie Mario. We saw Mario Wonder Mario, who's great,
Mhm.
and then this is just it's baby Mario almost, where he's got
squat.
he's got the proportions of a baby, and he looks so
big old
tiny.
head.
Normally he's
Yeah.
got he's big Mario, so I like it that he's mostly small Mario.
Yeah,
he looks
he
like he would be
really-
about this big. You can sit him on my lap, you
Cute
know,
little,
bounce him on my knee.
like a little baby Yoda size.
I'd like to do that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
about the same size as Baby Yoda.
Don't you think Baby Mario and Baby
I wanna
Yoda
stuff him
together
in my
could be
backpack or
cute?
something.
Probably weighs nothing at all.
Yes.
He's just throwing.
Oh my gosh.
So cute, a little.
Yes, but it's a very I love just the take. All the enemies look so dumb. It's Koopa Troopa's just got this dumb look on its face. It's this is
You did say that they have some different localization, because there were some lines
Yeah.
that we read in the original game, and I was oh.
well, I mean, I'm
Can't fly
interested
now.
to find more, and we probably never will. But yeah, there were some things that felt a little risque that
Yeah.
they kept, but then there were other things. So there's the character Frog Fuchsius,
I just got to that part.
and they
I noticed
changed
they
it to
Yeah.
Frog Sage.
Frog Sage, yeah.
What's wrong with fuchsias?
I don't know. I guess maybe they
Scared
Don't
to-
wanna-
They want
the-
to scare.
The Confucius contingent is
the-
gonna
the
get you. I don't
religion,
know.
maybe it's
Right?
religious
They
a
just
little bit?
didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
So that's been
Frog
interesting.
Sage now. But Frog Fuchsias is such a cute name.
I know. I thought
Yeah,
it was
it's a good
cute.
name.
I was excited to see them. I was
Right.
Can't believe
They did still keep in that same area. Remember Todovsky, not
Yes.
Tchaikovsky. He's still there.
Yeah.
It's still Todovsky.
Well, that's not
Todovsky.
religion.
That's stated.
No, but it is a real person. Who
Right.
the Tchaikovsky
Right.
people could
Then maybe
Yeah.
they could
sue
take
you or
offense
something.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All
Right.
right.
So I'm really liking it. I'm going to take my time with it. I did also get. So I've been saying all year long I'm going to play the Star Wars game.
Oh my God, it's
the
been
Star
like
Wars Jedi
months.
Survivor, and it finally. I have the time, and it finally went on sale on the PlayStation Black Friday sale. So
you were saying that
I downloaded that
pretty
last
sure
night.
It was gonna go on sale.
I'll probably start that tonight, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got to play that before we do Game of the Year.
Yeah, that's got to be up. Like you have to do. Just make sure you.
Yeah. So I think I'll cycle between those two this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still playing Alan Wake. I think you should play Alan Wake after Spider-Man. Why?
Scared?
I think you would like it. You're scared?
No, well, not necessarily.
Do you like Remedy?
I
Do
don't
you like
like
Control?
scary. I tend to not like scary games.
Okay, I don't like scary games either, but this is more like
If it's more like Control, then
it's like Control.
then
You
I
like
it.
Control?
Is it?
Yeah, I love Control.
Remedy is okay. So there's Control stuff like in this game
Okay.
that I love. Like they talk about like Quantico, they talk about like the FBC or whatever,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's a little scary. Like there's like a few jump scares, but mainly it's like investigation. Like it's
Okay. Yeah.
story driven. It's really good. I'm almost
give it
done with it. Although I did do a part yesterday that involved. I have a very specific fear of being chased. I don't like being chased. And there
Good
was
to
some
know.
chasing. Don't chase me. I'll scream and run away. But yeah, there was a part where your character kind of gets chased a little bit, and I was like really disoriented by it. So I had to do that a couple of times. But yeah, it's really good. Like I think you would really enjoy it.
I'll
So you
check
should
it
give
out.
it a try after you finish Spider-Man. But yeah, I think we were just talking about how this game. I guess Alan Wake 2 is the one that got the most TGA nominations. They like tied at like 8 nominations.
Yeah, a lot.
Wow.
And then we were asking ourselves, like, do we think that this game has some kind of like recency bias because it came out,
So
Of course.
Yeah.
the memory.
the
Yeah.
memory is really
Sure.
fresh, and
Mhm.
because the game is such a narrative-driven game, like the story does stick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know if that's the case, but I'm playing it and I'm like, no, this game is like legit, like so good. So maybe it's not the reason.
Everything you tell me about it sounds really interesting, and it sounds like they're
Yeah.
doing a lot of like creative,
Very creative.
little moments that they have that
Yeah.
are not just shoot a monster.
Right, and you
So-
play as like 2 different characters too. So you play as this FBI agent, and then you switch storylines to play as Alan Wake, obviously. And the way that they like have you play the characters is really interesting. Like the FBI agent is all about investigation. So you have like this big like investigation board that you're putting like clues up and all that stuff with like the string that connects it. And then when you play as Alan Wake, you're like a writer. So you're doing like a storyboard. So he puts up like scenes and different like plot points and stuff. It's like kind of similar. So you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to learn this like whole other character. But it's different enough where you're like, oh, this totally makes sense for their backstory. But yes, it's really good. I think I'm going to be done in a couple of days, and then I'm going to play.
You've been playing it for a while. Is it like how many
People
hours
say
do you
it's
think
like
you played?
20 hours. I think
Oh, okay.
I've only played I've played maybe almost 17 plus
Okay,
hours.
so like 1 to 10 scary, because I think a lot of us have this question. Like, how scary would you say for you?
For me, maybe like a 7.
There's a springboard and a storyboard.
Just try it. The jump scares do get me, but I'm like sensitive to jump scares. But then after you kind of play it for a while, you're like, I know what to do. Like, I'm very capable. I'm an FBI agent. Like, I got.
I'm an adult.
And then she's never scared. Like, she's never scared. She's like, when the things are happening, she's like, come out with your hands up. And I'm like, yeah. So like, and Alan Wake's never scared. He's always just like, I'm gotta do this. And you're like, okay, I can write a book. No problem. So I feel like because the characters are very capable, it's not that bad. It's not like Resident Evil 7 where you just feel like a loser.
Yeah.
You're like a loser.
You have to run.
And you gotta run
You
away.
don't feel like you can defend yourself.
That's I think a good distinction. Like the Resident Evil where like you've got 4 bullets and
Yeah.
No.
10
And a
things
knife,
coming
yeah.
at you. Like,
Yeah, you're like, I can't do this.
That's just
Yeah.
too stressful.
You're
Right,
in
right.
like a circus with 1 bullet and you basically have no way of defending yourself. Yeah, it's not like that. Yeah. Are you playing anything?
No.
Okay.
Don't ask.
Yeah, I mean, I would just, for lack of a better label, I'm not a gamer.
You're not,
I'm
yeah.
just not. I'm an advertiser.
Very true, very true.
Yeah. But I love gamers.
The last thing we want to talk about, because it's kind of gaming adjacent, is this Scott Pilgrim Netflix show. Are any of you watching that?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what Scott Pilgrim is?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's so
Good.
good. You guys should watch it. I watched the
Yeah.
first 4
I love the
episodes.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Cera?
Yeah, Michael
Yeah.
Cera.
Yeah.
It's like
He's the voice actor.
10.
Oh, he is.
So,
Yeah.
so they did the movie about 10-ish years ago, and then the comics came out like maybe 6 or 7 before that. So it's like strangely retro now,
I know.
where like there are scenes, and they try to keep that time frame where it's like on a flip phone. I'm like,
There's
wait,
flip phones.
this is old now?
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
am I
it's
old?
like-
No.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Super old.
But yeah, you and I read the comics, and we were pretty big into it.
yeah.
And I didn't love the movie because I think Michael Cera is like one of the worst pieces of casting for that character, like ever.
I didn't hate it that as
I
much.
really
Oh,
hated
because
it.
the character,
That
not
character-
him as an actor.
No,
him
just as that
being-
For
character.
that character.
Yes,
Scott
yes, that
Pilgrim.
is not like how I imagine Scott Pilgrim to be. But they brought back all the movie cast to do the voices of
Right.
this.
Oh.
And I had been loosely
Pretty
following the show, and I didn't realize that until I started watching and I saw the credits. I was like, oh, Michael Cera. But
Oh man.
I think his
The
voice
age.
has changed now that he's gotten older. Like he doesn't sound
How old
like
was he?
Michael Cera did back
Michael
then.
Cera's like
So I didn't
our
mind
age,
it.
right?
Yeah, that's an adult already, right?
Yeah.
His voice
Michael Cera's
changed.
not that young.
Yeah.
His voice shouldn't have changed.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he started smoking or something. I don't know.
Raspy?
Yeah.
That was raspy voice?
Yeah, it didn't bother me. And the other thing I didn't realize this, again, because I was not paying that much attention, is like, this is not just like a straight retelling of that story.
Mm-hmm.
So the first episode is pretty faithful of the beginning. But
Yeah.
at the end of that, like there's something that they change that happens in
Significantly.
the story. And from then on, everything is completely different.
Right.
So it's kind of like a reinterpretation
And it's cool.
of that story.
Because that story is a little dated, I think, about like
Yes.
you have to defeat her like 7 evil ex-boyfriends or whatever, and it's kind of like boring. So now it's like there's so many more like opportunities for you to get to know the other characters in the Scott Pilgrim universe, and it's not really super hyper focused on just like Scott Pilgrim or Ramona. So there's like all these other characters that you get to know. Every episode is sort of like a different character is like the main plot point. And the show just looks really
Yeah.
cool. Like it's done in like that sort of arcade style almost.
Yeah, they got like a real Japanese anime studio
Yeah.
to do it.
Mhm.
Definitely looks the part.
The music is really good. There's a scene where one of the characters does like a sort of like upbeat version of Sarah McLachlan's "I Will Remember You," which is the song that they play during like the ASPCA, like
Yeah.
donate to
Yeah.
save this
I'm
dog.
trying to think.
Yeah,
What is it?
What's it? Yeah, upbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you gotta like look it up. I'm sure it's on like Apple Music or something
Wow.
because it's so good, and that song makes you cry. Like 'cause
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
about the poor dog.
Immediately,
Immediately
like,
you're-
I want to save all the dogs from
Yeah,
the
you're it's like tear jerker,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. They're doing it on purpose, and then this is like such a good version of it. I'm like, this is like kind of a bop. Like I kind of like this. Like jamming to this. Like Sarah McLachlan's great.
Was Brie Larson?
Yes,
Is she?
She's in
yeah,
this.
she's in this.
Yeah,
she's
so they brought-
Envy Adams.
They
yeah,
have some bit like Chris Evans is
Chris
Captain
Evans,
America.
too, right?
Yeah.
He has a pretty big part in this. Like
Yes.
I'm kind of shocked that they got everybody to
Wow.
come
I
back
know.
and do as much as they did. And this kind of ends on a cliffhanger. So it's like, are they going to do more of this? I don't know how
Yeah.
they can get this group back together to make this like an ongoing show.
Yeah,
But
it's only 8 episodes and they're pretty short, so you could like totally just binge it in
Right.
one night. It's on Netflix, but yeah, I've heard that maybe this is like a pilot season. It sounds like they might. It's pretty popular, so I feel like
yeah.
they're
So
gonna
maybe
do
it for me, it just may have been that I had super low expectations, but I really liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I finished it last
Probably
night.
gonna finish it up tonight, but the first 4 episodes were really, really good. So.
Yeah. Anything else you'd all like to share? Playing, thinking about? No. Okay.
Silence.
News
I'm on
time.
the spot. Jeez.
Let's talk about some news. So, I don't know if you saw this kind of late Friday. There was this talk of a Last of Us 2 remaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this had been rumored, but it got officially confirmed. And I think there was some leaks that were starting to happen, and Sony just got in front of it and was like, we're announcing this thing.
Yeah.
So it's coming on January 19th, which is very soon. If you have the PS4 version, you can upgrade to the PS5 version for $10.
Okay.
I think that's an important detail that this game came out like this is the game that came out around the same time as Animal Crossing.
Right.
So that's like what 3 3-4 years now.
Yeah, 20.
Not super old. And they've added this new mode, which is like kind of like a roguelike mode where you can play as different characters, which is kind of a cool, appealing point. We should say neither of us
We're too
are
scared
Last
to
of Us
play this.
people.
Have you guys played Last of Us?
I
You love
great.
Last of
I
Us,
love
and
it,
you
yeah.
watched the show. Did you watch?
I watched the show,
Yeah.
and then my ex played it, and I remember over the shoulder like watching it, and
Yeah.
being like, oh.
But I remember we were on like a trip together. You were watching the show like religiously, and I was like, I can't even look over your shoulder. I'm like so freaked
Yeah.
out by this.
Yeah,
But you guys both loved it.
So I just
love
have
the
a
show.
love of media and
Yeah.
like a love of movies and TV shows. So
Yeah.
I love the conversation of Scott Pilgrim. But yes, I was tiny familiarity
Yeah.
with the video
Right.
franchise. So, but watching the show, I
you were like
was
so into it.
so into
Episode
it.
3.
I love, episode 3, heartbreaking.
I've
love
heard
it,
about this
right?
episode.
You have to watch.
Have you not watched the show?
But
yet?
just,
No.
Too
just
scared.
just the
the show is significantly less scary.
yeah,
than the game.
yeah. I
But
think
what
You can
Well,
play
it's
Alan
true.
Wake.
It's
She
not
can
really
watch the
so
show.
scary.
In the game, there has to be
It's
something to move the
dark
plot
and-
forward
Yeah.
and also to fill time. So like
Yeah.
there's hordes of I'm gonna call it we weren't allowed to call them zombies when I was at PlayStation, but they're zombies. There's just hordes of or a lot
Yeah.
more clickers that
Yeah.
are coming at you in the game, and it
Yeah.
gets stressful and it is scary. In the show, there are episodes that have some clickers
But does
in
it
them.
make you like
but
I think
hate
for
the
me-
human experience? Just
No.
like
I think for me it was like
No.
after
No,
every
no,
episode
exactly.
dropped,
Not
it was the
at all.
tweets of like I've never cried so hard after
I don't want
It's
to
in my
cry
life.
so
It's like
hard.
I think I'm good.
And
I don't think I need that.
Has said this at various times, but I mean, it's essentially a story of love.
Yeah,
It's life affirming.
yeah.
It is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
In
It's very uplifting.
Yeah.
In a
There's-
sad way.
It is.
Yeah. Sad way.
Well,
in a very
Cry?
dark and
Yeah.
bleak way.
Yeah.
While you're getting choked out by a
Tears of
drifter,
beauty.
it's life affirming.
Yeah, like there's been so many stories about like what life would be after an apocalyptic
like
catastrophe,
dystopian
right?
world. Yeah.
It's like-
it just enters from a different, more sensitive way.
Yeah.
It's
It's like Stray. It's a cozy game where you get your face bitten off by aliens.
All right,
It's
I'm
just
gonna
like
try.
that.
I have
It's
like,
exactly
I,
like
I
that.
feel like I promised you that I would try like months ago,
There we
and then
go.
I was like,
There is a mode in the game too where it's, I think they call it story mode, where it's super easy, basically. Like
oh yeah,
if you just want to experience the story,
narrative,
and
yeah.
go through and not have the stress of
okay,
clicker
All right.
chasing.
that might be a good way to experience the story.
yeah,
as well.
okay.
So
Well, now that
this
it's
this
made
also
less-
has some behind the scenes content. Sounds like they're kind of putting out some unfinished areas that you can sort of explore, not necessarily play. And then there's also like developer commentary on that. So it sounds like they've added, quite a bit to it. Like, would you double dip on this?
It's part of me feels like with all of the remakes that are coming out, it's like Christmas ornaments showing up in Home Depot earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah.
Like the game just came out like
Yeah,
a couple of years
it is
ago.
strange.
It
Feels
seems
soon.
too soon.
They did that with the
Yeah.
first game too. Like they were
What's-
super quick.
What's
But-
the time difference? Like months?
No.
Years.
It would've-
You said years.
No, so the first game came out in 2020. So it's
Yeah.
like, less than 4 years
Yeah.
for it to come out.
But
with
then
a
see,
remake.
like Super Mario RPG was like 20.
That was 25 years, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm
Or
not-
Resident Evil 4, right? That, we
and
got that
and they've
this year, so
shared
it's
like, well,
20
here's
years.
the PS4 graphics and here's the PS5 graphics. Like I
Can't tell.
cannot tell the
Can't
difference.
tell.
it was beautiful on PS4. I'm
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure
so
yeah.
it'll be
the
beautiful
PS4 was
on
a good
PS5,
system.
But like,
yeah.
it feels a little too soon to me. But I can understand with the show.
Yeah, I think
was gonna say
why,
it's-
like,
Right.
I think
there's
it
so
makes a
much
lot of
more
sense.
interest,
Yeah.
and a lot of people probably went out and got the first game and played through it, and
Mhm.
like now they have a PS5 and they want to play through the second
yeah,
game.
Yeah.
yeah.
Before they just announced they're going to start shooting
the show again,
the
right?
second season of
Yeah.
the show. So it makes sense.
So
to
you gotta,
me.
you
Yeah.
gotta keep
But-
interest high on this
Yeah.
franchise,
Yeah.
I feel like,
I-
right?
Part of me though is like, I want to see Naughty Dog. They seem to get tied up in these remasters of like, I'd like to see the next
Mhm.
original
Yeah,
game
I
too.
would much rather see
Yeah.
something.
Right.
The same thing happened with
additional.
Uncharted.
Right.
They did like Uncharted remasters for like years.
Yeah.
And you're like, what else you got?
It does seem neat to be able to explore some new
Yeah.
ares, and for $10 I might do it.
Yeah, that's a
just to
nice
see
approach that
Like,
they're doing.
I don't think I would play through the whole game again. Eventually
Oh, yeah.
I will, but
Yeah.
not so soon.
Right,
But just
right.
to
Yeah.
explore some stuff.
Mhm.
That's true. If they have the extras.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Baldur's Gate gang. They have announced a physical deluxe edition,
I saw that. Yeah.
which includes, let's see what we got here. The game on disc, 3-disc soundtrack, a physical map, 2 patches, 32 stickers in this beautiful package. And it only costs $79, which I'm surprised at because the game itself is $70.
Yeah.
So it's only $9 more. You get like a bunch of
This is
stuff.
priced to double dip.
That's
Oh,
for people
because they
like
want you
me.
to get it.
Yes.
Are
So
you
it's
gonna
like-
get it? Do you want 32 stickers?
I'm going to think about it.
Do you
I mean,
want
that's a lot of
stickers?
stickers. I cover myself in these stickers. Yeah, I don't know. But that, I mean, I think it's smart of them because they did not have a physical edition at all.
Right.
And I wanted to get that when that first came out. And I still have a lot of affinity for this game and feel like I might replay it down the road. Because you can play it so many
It
different
has-
ways.
it has
Different
hybrid
paths,
ability,
yeah.
Right. I would probably get it. I need to look into the PC version and see if that's a disc or a code because I would play it on the Steam Deck.
Right.
Obviously, no disk drive on that, so
Right.
that might be the deciding factor. But I think this is smart of them. They've also said so the game's not on the Xbox yet. They are doing an Xbox version of this. They said it's coming in December, and they will share the release date at the TGAs.
Oh, all right.
Announcement. Yeah.
It could be. I mean, it could be. It's out now.
Could be Shadow Drop to the
Game Pass is this game on Game Pass? I saw some
It
people
better
asking that.
be. It better be.
I could see them doing. I mean, there was that
They
whole thing of like
should.
Phil Spencer flew to Europe to talk to the team, and we worked out the details. Like
deal.
make a deal,
Making deals.
make a deal in the
Where are
swaying
they? Where are they?
stand of where.
Larian?
I believe they're in Belgium.
Oh, Belgium.
Don't come
Okay.
after me. I
Okay.
believe it's Belgium.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like.
Look, though,
I mean, it's nice.
it's cool.
It's cool.
Well, that's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stickers.
Again, 32
A
stickers.
lot of discs too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Take
feel
that,
like,
Final Fantasy. This is on 3 discs.
The soundtrack is also really nice
Yes.
for the game.
The soundtrack
so,
is incredible.
They got nominated for TGA.
Yes.
Yeah,
The soundtrack is also on every music service.
that's true.
And they've
I
done
guess
like
you don't need a
an
collective.
official
Yeah.
YouTube upload. It's everywhere.
They have it everywhere.
Right,
But the
right.
soundtrack is quite good.
But it's cool. It's a smart thing of them to do, I think.
Oh no, you're losing your.
Last story. Atlas is raising the salaries of their employees in Japan only.
Oh.
Oh. So they're raising the salaries of everybody there by 15%. And they're saying just that, it's a more competitive market over there, and they
Yeah.
want to be proactive in
Retain
attracting
the
and
the
retaining
talent.
their talent.
Yeah.
If I was an Atlas US employee, I'd say, hey, over here, look at me.
That same thing happened at Nintendo,
It
where
did,
they
right? A few
raised
months ago,
the salaries for the Nintendo employees,
In Japan,
and then like right afterwards, they're like, our retention is 98% in Japan,
Yeah.
and then like all the US based.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a
People are
trend.
very
Like,
quiet.
Capcom did this. I feel like there have been a couple. Like, why is this a trend in Japan and not here?
Probably because their salaries were like really
Really
low.
low.
Like
Well,
15% from
Shockingly
what?
low.
Yeah, what did you start with? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is because we definitely when we were at Nintendo kind of like we never knew for sure obviously like how much people were making, but it definitely didn't seem like you think about a tech salary in the US, right? Especially in this area. It's like, oh, we're in like this high 6 figures, for a tech executive. And then you think about like potential salary
Yeah.
for like a exec at Nintendo.
It's like we know how much Mr. Miyamoto and Mr.
Right.
Furukawa make,
And it's
like
not
in comparison
that
to
much.
the
Yeah, it's like
executives here, it's
right.
peanuts.
It's like nothing. So I bet you that the salaries they had starting out were probably not very high.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting trend happening over in Japan, though.
Yeah. Good for them to try to like get everything
Yeah.
up to the right levels for everybody, so they can have
Yeah.
a decent life.
Yeah.
Support anybody getting more money.
Exactly.
Anybody.
Salary, yes.
Yeah.
We need to make sure people can live.
Patreon? Are you a Patreon subscriber?
I'm not.
Oh, you are, right?
I am.
I was worried you were going to say I was.
I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure.
It's your subcurrents.
Paying our salary.
Yeah. I can give you the iPad right now to renew.
You're like a shareholder.
That's right.
You're a shareholder.
Let's get into some questions. We always get the questions from our Patreon community. You should ask us a question.
Oh, I
We can answer it.
You can
Should
troll us.
I ask myself a question? How are you so good looking?
So we gave people a heads up that you all were going to be on. So all the questions we got are for you. So our first question is from Brovac Novak, who asks, Hey, super cool ex-Nintendo peeps. Can you talk a little about your overall emotional state when Nintendo announced the closure of your office and how that may have evolved to now? Were you initially angry but now grateful because your career has advanced? Are you still angry? Were you excited because you're sadistic? Tell us all the things. Wow, Brovak Novak.
Definitely
That's a
sadistic.
tough
I love
question.
this.
Sean, you left a little earlier than when
Yeah,
this
I
happened.
was-
but
I
maybe,
was
maybe you were
You
mad
saw it
for
coming.
us.
I was upset for you. Yes.
Yeah.
I felt like it seemed like the office would always be there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys felt that even more so. But yeah, I was surprised. Sad for you guys.
But yeah, you were
But
smart.
I
You got out
didn't go through
earlier.
that. I had gotten out early.
You got out early, and your career kept a wonderful upward trajectory,
Yeah.
and you worked at lots of different places after that, and you're doing great. So
I'm very happy now.
yeah, you're very happy. You were also doing something like pretty boring, like
No, 100%. That's why I
towards
left.
the very
They keep
end of
you
your
do
career, you were doing something not so fun anymore.
Yeah,
you were like,
I-
I'm done with this.
The role I started with at Nintendo was not the same as the role I ended.
That's
with.
right. Yeah.
And it just happened that there was a need, and I would say that maybe management positioned it as they asked me to fill that need. I would consider it more I was told
You were
that I would
voluntold.
be filling that need.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would. My job at the end wasn't really something that I looked forward to as much, and so
Yeah.
it was a difficult decision to leave Nintendo. But
Yeah.
I think ultimately it ended up for the best.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I see. I think that what you did was such like a brave sort of thing to do too, because a lot of people that work at Nintendo, you like basically convince yourself that it is like the only place you can ever work
Mhm.
at, you know? And you were very honest with yourself, and you were like, I am not happy doing this job. Like,
Yeah.
this sucks. I'm not learning. I'm not growing. I need to take the matters into my own hands and do something else. And you like were able to do it. A lot of people
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I've done that my whole life. I'm in California because I woke up one day and said, I don't want to live on the East Coast anymore. And went in that day and quit and sold my house and
Wow.
moved out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
you
yeah,
just had the
it's-
conviction to.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
mean,
brave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean has
You
a
have
quiet
to-
strength.
He does.
Knowing him personally.
I know, he really does.
He really
He's
do.
very calming and very,
Yeah.
but he's a good sounding board when you need a decision, because he would always make a
Yeah, I
decision and
mean,
stick to it.
You
Yeah.
you have to make decisions that are going to make you happy.
Right.
And
Exactly.
like if you're not doing that, what are you
What's the
doing?
point?
So, like,
you know? Yeah.
It was, but it was not an easy decision.
Right,
When
right.
I first got to Nintendo, I legitimately thought I would retire there.
Yeah.
I would. Why would anyone want to go anywhere else?
Right. And that's why the retention
Look,
rate
look
is
at
so
all
high.
the heads nodding.
Yeah,
well, Yeah, yeah, I know.
With that
So,
So,
sentiment.
but I think, besides Sean, who left in 2017, I think the rest of us did leave when the office closure was announced. All of us did leave around that time. So how do you guys feel now? How are you feeling then?
You know, what I'll say is that I suspect it's true for all of us, right? When you work at a place for so long, and also the fact that that's Nintendo, right? It's such a beloved brand. And even if you're not a gamer, Monica, like you still can appreciate like
Mm-hmm.
how people resonate with it, right? Like how many fans there are of the brand, right?
Loved it.
Yeah.
And I think over time you start wrapping up your own personal identity with the brand.
Right.
And so I think initially that was a shock for a lot of us. Myself?
For myself.
For
You
me.
turned into a leprechaun. Where's your pot of gold?
For myself, whoa, excuse me. It was particularly difficult because I think, you just wrap yourself up like you are Nintendo. My nephews called me Uncle Nintendo.
Oh no, you were that uncle.
Right? Because I would
Yeah.
gift these games for the holidays. And so you just become that person. So there was an unwinding process of who am I, right?
Yeah.
Like who am I without this brand attached to my title, my whatever, my identity. Having been past that now for about a year and a half, I will
Mhm.
say that actually I'm grateful.
Yeah.
That I had that kind of push out of the nest, so to
Yeah.
speak.
I call it that a lot too. Really felt like we all got pushed out of the nest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I think this is like maybe I don't know if this is career advice or whatever, but I think being at any one particular organization for that long, you learn how to fit in that particular machine. So you find out you like kind of like sand yourself down to this perfect little cog in this greater machine.
Yeah.
But you're so specific to that machine.
Yeah.
And you go to another machine, you're not going to fit, right?
Yeah.
And you have to kind of figure yourself out there as well. And so I think that process of kind of like having to figure out my new self was really illuminating for myself. So I appreciated that personally.
Yeah.
I still love the company. I still might go back, hopefully, maybe at some point. I don't know. But I'm grateful for having that transition happen.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
I feel like it felt like kind of almost like a breakup. You know?
Yeah.
But also, I feel like I don't think I was there as long as you guys were. So it must have been like over three and a half, maybe. So I mean, long enough.
Still long.
Yeah.
Still long, but it's true. It's like you go there and you're like, oh my god, I'm at Nintendo. And like it's like this like a dream come true, you know. But then like so then learning about like the closure was sort of like, oh shoot, I need to like like you said, like unwind myself from this like identity of like, you know, loving it here and all that kind of stuff. I remember like I think our like a small group of us like from our team like that day when we found out had like a little Zoom, because I think it was still during.
It was. Everything was
Mhm.
over video. Yeah, at the time.
Yeah, so we had like a little Zoom call where we all were just like freaking out, you know, and it's just like I just remember everybody just being like, oh my gosh, like this is like crazy news, and we were just all like going through it, you know.
Yeah.
But like Mike said, I feel like that really, especially with it being right after a pandemic, it kind of like made you think about like, oh, what is work to me, right? And like, how closely do I need to like connect my emotions to all this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, and since then, you know, we've all moved on, and like I've definitely like, I think it's made me tougher, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I also like, I never want to take for granted working in games, you know, and I feel like that's what I think back on now when I think about Nintendo is like all those like being able to work on so many amazing things. Like it's really cool. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
like Mike said, like maybe one day we'd go back, or maybe, you know, it's just like you always want to hope that like you'll get back into that sort of like joyous kind of like environment, you know?
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Well, the question was like, were you angry? I never remember feeling angry.
Mm-hmm.
I was just sad.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I wasn't going to make the move up to Redmond.
Right.
I already lived in Seattle, did that boomerang thing we discussed before, right? I was just sad because it was coming to an end, and we did so much advertising, and like I said before, like I have such a love of advertising, and doing it for such a great organization. You know, also Aunt Nintendo.
Auntie Nintendo.
And my family as well. So I was just more sad than anything else. But I understood the decision, especially because like when we started at Nintendo, it was after they had moved the sales and marketing organization out of Redmond.
Right.
So we were still working with some of those people who stayed at the company but didn't move down to California.
Right.
And so I had started the position there understanding their psyche and their reactions to that decision. So when it full circle came in, I was now
on the other side.
Other side, I was like, well, you know, I guess I can react the way that some of those people reacted that I remember.
Yeah.
You know, when I started.
Right.
Or I can, you know, just accept and, you know, like Michael was saying, just kind of move on and see it as maybe more of a blessing.
Right.
Than anything else. But feeling overall is just sadness because it's like saying goodbye to like great, fun people and it's just a good time.
Yeah, that was definitely like, I think for us the main thing was, you know, you just cannot have that mix. I don't think ever again. Like that is a once in a lifetime moment in time that you experience together, and like I don't think you could ever do that again. So it was like a little bit, you know, of like, wow, like that was very rare to have that. Obviously we're still friends, and so that's fine. I see you guys all the time. It's not like we like said goodbye and then we haven't seen each other for like 2 years. But yeah, it's like that kind of environment that we fostered is very rare. So that part was definitely sad.
Let's move to a more lighthearted question. One that I'm personally very excited for, from Prince Charmless. Question for the ex-Nintendo employees. Is it true that Krysta is a terror in the office?
What?
From what I've heard from the episode with producer Stephanie, Krysta seems bossy. Is that true? Peace sign.
I definitely am bossy. Okay,
you don't get to answer the question.
I will
Silence.
Say, I will say one of the funniest things that we always said about Krysta is the speed at which she leaves meetings. Like, we always joked about it because like she would like you would have like the last word of the meeting, and usually like people kind of trickle out, but she just like
Boom.
closes the laptop and goes, or if it's like a Zoom meeting, she just like disappears like really fast. So I don't know. We always thought that was funny. It was like it's a show of her personality too. It's just like very much like I'm out of here. Like I'm done. You know.
Is Krysta the terror? That's
the question.
Yeah,
Krysta is a delight.
Oh, wow.
She is a joy to be around.
See?
I think Stephanie had a different relationship with you. I really like. I mean,
Where's Stephanie today? Not
Never
invited.
invited back after her disparaging comment. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't work on your team like Stephanie did,
Right.
so I may have not seen you in full strength mode. I don't know.
In the kitchen, cooking.
Cooking. You gotta
But
cook.
like had meetings on a weekly basis with you,
Yeah.
campaign planning or activation, like
Yeah.
whatever, right? But
Yeah.
I never ever got any bossy feeling from you
Uh-huh.
whatsoever.
I didn't ask the question.
You were gonna say that I was bossy.
I just read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got the
Never.
sense of bossy.
Yeah.
You could always hear Krysta. So you knew if she was there or not, but like, in a good way,
Yeah.
laughing.
Yeah, even working on Super Smash Brothers Ultimate
Yeah.
with you, because you were the activation lead.
Yeah.
So, technically
I had to be bossy.
Yeah, you had to be bossy, but like again, I walked away out of that experience with you of launching that game. There's no bossy remnants at all.
See?
Yeah.
It's a perspective.
Stephanie.
Moving on. Joshy Josh. Hi, former Nintendo folks. This one's kind of long. This is a specific question about the marketing and advertising at Nintendo. Do you feel that their advertising since the Wii U era has been sanitized compared to the marketing of the 2000s with GameCube and Wii? I find that every commercial I see just shows families playing Nintendo games together, but does not show any differentiation of what kind of experience a particular game brings. For example, with Animal Crossing, why can't they show friends in a college dorm together visiting each other's islands to show that their life can expand from a small dorm room to a big island that they can show their friends? I feel that the value proposition of the hardware is rarely highlighted, and the actual game titles are marketed very similarly, regardless of their target audience or genre.
Wow.
I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you.
This is a marketer that
Joshy Josh does work in marketing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All
Trying
right.
to get some strats.
Yes.
Some hot
Love it.
strats.
Tips and strats.
Yeah. I think Joshy Josh is really observant. I think there's two things that, my opinion is, there are two things at play. One, a greater cultural marketing shift, right? And then one specific to Nintendo, right? So I think the bigger industry shift, I think, happened when social media came around,
Mm-hmm.
right? So once brands and consumers started having this two-way conversation and brands started finally listening to consumers, reactions, responses, some of it being more negative, but, they would analyze how they presented their products to the audience, right?
Right.
And so I think brands react to that, right? And they make sure that they're pleasing the audience, right? And yeah, people in social media may not be in their target audience, but they still are an audience because of that two-way conversation happening. So I think brands as a whole have kind of watered down or made their marketing tactics a bit more vanilla. And that's not specific to Nintendo. I think that's across the board, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Also too, just culturally, we don't have I'm just going to use magazines as an example, like FHM or Maxim, we were wilder in the 90s, early 2000s, right? There's just more leash. There was a longer leash to do kind of crazy things, and that doesn't exist anymore today.
I was reading highlights.
I love highlights.
There's a documentary on that.
Yeah.
That's a good documentary.
Sorry.
The two.
Yeah.
Which picture is different?
But specific to Nintendo, just to wrap this up, I think once the Wii entered, once Nintendo launched Wii, the Wii was created for everyone. like 5 to 95.
That was like the tagline. Yeah.
So the product itself was made for a huge expanded audience, and the marketing just followed suit. And we all know what happened to the Wii. It was just a phenomenon.
Yeah.
And so, Nintendo is continually after that just stuck to products that are for everyone. They want everyone to find a place to play in their ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So the marketing reflects that. The marketing lowers the barrier, makes it approachable for a grandmother to a young child, every color, every race, like everybody right around the world. So, your marketing has to approach the audience similarly.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too. It's like they're so concerned about reaching this like huge, broad audience. They're less creative because that might just reach a specific niche.
Yeah.
They just want it to be like very kind of generic.
Right.
Not in a mean way, but because they want anybody that's watching it to find like something that appeals to them.
Yeah.
So
you can look at glass half full. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
You look at it as like a little bit more pessimistic. It's like, don't want to cause rejectors.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it's just.
I think there's a lot of things they're doing now that they weren't doing before, like the movie, like the theme
Mm-hmm.
park,
Yeah.
the
Totally.
licensing, like they haven't done before, and so there is that. It's not just so focused. To your point, it was started with the Wii, with being for everybody. It's a more broad type of marketing.
Counterpoint.
Genius.
Have you seen the WarioWare commercial, which is filmed very clearly in a Redmond headquarters bathroom stall?
Did you work on that one before you left?
No. I have seen it. I am still not quite sure if it is commercial or trailer or like a high quality trailer.
Oh, that's a good differentiation.
So for me, as being on the inside, right, like I sort of think it's more on the
trailer
high
side?
production trailer side,
Yeah.
which inside Nintendo, that team, because they're not mass media, they don't have paid media behind them.
They're not like, it's not a TV commercial.
They're not scrutinized as much.
Yes.
Sure.
And then you couple that with Wario.
Yeah,
You're gonna get some
better.
weird stuff.
You
Yeah.
have a longer leash to do something like that.
That's true.
Wario goes to Costa Rica next time. Look forward to that. Kilo Kibo asks, hello, former Nintendo employees. Inspired by Krysta's story about setting up Wii Fit for her boss. Hear about that later. What is the most awkward thing you had to do for your job? We've already heard some of these awkward stories. Any others are always welcome.
I think it wasn't awkward for me, but maybe awkward for others.
Oh.
So we did like office pranks, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned producer Stephanie. She's like the sister I never wanted. We would do things in the office just to annoy each other.
You did. It was weird.
And so I don't know how this started, but for me at least, it culminated in this one day where I woke up really early to get to the office before anyone got there. And I had been accumulating a bunch of these empty V8 cans. I don't know why.
Why V8?
I don't know.
Well, he was drinking.
Because I would drink. I love
like
V8.
V8.
Right?
Okay.
So I accumulated all the cans, and one idea was I was going to fill her office, her cubicle, with all these cans. Some of them might be full, so she can't just sweep them off the table.
Oh.
Right? The thing that I did, which I still chuckle at today, I had an air horn and I duct taped it to the bottom of her elastic chair. So when she sat down in the morning, it would go off.
Wow.
And so I got there and I was just waiting, like a little head over the cubicle walls for her to come into the office. And she did. And she was getting ready, and I was just there giggling the whole time. And she sat down, and the air horn started going off. It was like very loud. And she was just sitting up, and she was looking around, not knowing that the sound was coming from her chair. And meanwhile, I was on the floor. I was.
Do you think this all started because you said that your suit was silver?
That might have been it, maybe.
That was
the
Why do people keep saying that, Mike? Gosh.
There was an era of office pranks where I'm shocked that none of us got real trouble for, because we were brazen in that office. We had no we didn't care that our boss was looking at us while we did ridiculous things to each other. You had another friend in the office. This person's still at Nintendo.
That's right.
And you guys would run around, like literally scream and run
Yeah.
down the hall, chasing each other. You would like get piggybacked by him, running down, like running
Yeah.
past like the CMO.
That's right. Yeah.
And no one cared. Just
Yeah,
didn't
There
care.
were a lot of
from
days
that.
that there weren't a lot of people there. Like it would feel very empty. It was like, oh, this team's at an offsite. It was like, well, okay.
But you also ran past that person's office when he was
You were
there.
so there as well.
Yeah, but that person didn't seem to care either.
No,
So it was
no.
really a weird time.
I remember with that particular person, he was he went off and did like another work stint temporarily for a couple of months,
Yeah.
and we left his office empty, right? Just because he was going to come
Oh,
back
that
to
we
it.
did that.
And
Yes.
we printed out a bunch of memes, which was me printed out. So one of the memes was like, "Hey, X person, right? What is this sweater made of? It's made of boyfriend material." And it was me just looking like that. And so there were all a bunch of like suggestive like themes, like just plastered on his office. And I remember like your VP and other people would stop by and look at them and just kind of put their head to the side, wonder what that was all about, and they walk on. So I think it was uncomfortable for them. But for us, we
It
thought
was
it was
hilarious.
Normal. Yeah.
Normal. Yeah. Yeah, we just, I don't know why we didn't care. Like, we just didn't care.
I mean, I think we just, it speaks to like how tight knit we were.
Yeah, it was
I
like
think
a
we had-
college campus almost.
We had individual
Like a
persons
dorm.
show up and they were appreciated, I think.
Yeah.
I
Well, at
think
least
also
they
we
were.
worked there for so long, we really knew where the line was.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, we
Yeah.
never
We
crossed
just
the line.
like creep right up on it.
Yeah. We like tiptoe
Yeah,
a little bit.
Did. Backed
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, that's true. We really did. We kind of like we skirted the edge well. God, so funny.
Ninja 11 asks, what's the biggest underappreciated contribution you have made to a beloved Nintendo game?
Oh.
Kit helped pick a Zelda box art. Krista helped with the Mario Odyssey tour. What are some awesome things us fans need to thank you for? Give us some humble brags.
Ooh, I love
What a
it.
thoughtful question, right?
It's a thoughtful question.
Well, it's hard because I think in most of our roles, the games were already done. There wasn't a whole lot that we
Mhm.
could do to it. I think for me, for Pokemon Black and White, there were like it was a gift with purchase was a really nice collectible coin
Mm.
that I worked on, and in Animal Crossing New Leaf, there was we got Mr. Anuma to design a Zelda the Hylian Crest T-shirt that you could use a QR code. to scan.
That's
Oh,
cool. That's a
that's
good
very
one.
cool.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, but that's cool. Yeah. I love that.
You just made me remember. Oh my gosh, was it Link's Awakening? The Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, it's not Link's Awakening. Which one's the one with the windfish?
Link's
Yeah,
Awakening.
Link's
Awakening. Okay,
Yeah.
so for that at PAX West, I made these like pins, and we did this really elaborate scavenger hunt that was so much work. So basically, in order to collect all the instruments, you had to like go to different parts of PAX West, and we did something I think on social where like you were giving clues to the locations. Like,
Yes.
we wrote every single like this was like
You like
months-
you had to map it out,
you
right?
had to map it out. It was like timed, and like it was just like months of work that went into this thing that like I don't know, maybe many people don't remember, but like I remember like the pins were really cool. There's like eight of the pins. Those also like those things you guys know take forever to make because
Mhm.
there's so many approvals to even get anything made. And then we were just able to do this really fun like social scavenger hunt at PAX West where you got to collect the pins. And so I like that kind of stuff like people just think, oh, it just happens, but like that's stuff like it's actually really
So
tough, really
much
tough to
work.
do.
Those are actually the ones that are the most work.
Yeah.
Like you think that these little like cutesy, PR things or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
these
yeah.
little things that you do is just like, shows up or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like 6-8 months plus
Yeah.
of work.
A
Yeah.
lot of, and like we had to write the riddles or whatever. I worked with Treehouse on it,
Mhm.
obviously, and then like Social had to get in on it to actually, and we had to make sure like, oh, is this going to be too crazy? Like, are there going to be too many people who want them?
Yeah.
So it's just it was a lot of fun though. I just thought of that when you mentioned like making all the items.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I did so much.
I really did. I mean, the things that stick out are working with Sakurai on Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh.
There are not that many.
That was a good game.
Really,
Bring that back.
advertising was great too.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, I
Bring that
remember the approval process
Mm-hmm.
for Kid Icarus Uprising and like the exposure that the consumer marketing team has to the developers is like none.
Right.
I know on the PR side, so like you guys have more interactions,
Yeah.
but it just was unheard of for us. But Sakurai-san, he wanted to know everything that we were doing.
He's a perfectionist,
right?
and he just wanted to know.
Such a
Yeah.
perfectionist. And I remember just being on email threads with him. This, getting translated, of course. I do not speak or write Japanese. But I remember just fighting for the commercial, right?
Yeah.
Where we've got, a Medusa-like
Yeah,
character.
I remember
and,
that.
Yeah, and you've got, is his name Icarus? I don't know. Pit. There we go. Pit flying through the air. And just like all of these emails going back and forth, just fighting for the CG that we were creating this commercial.
Oh my gosh.
And the other part, so it was incredibly tough. And this was like when CG was
Like first, yeah.
was early,
It's like 3DS.
Mhm.
So
It
this
was
was like
early-
back in
That
the
was
day.
2011.
yeah, it was early CG, very expensive, very intense. And the other part of the campaign, I remember being an AR card. Do you remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have them
Yes.
still.
Yeah, and so we did this print ad where the AR card was attached to the
That's
ad.
right.
right?
It was
And
in
you could
Game
peel it.
Informer.
Mhm.
I remember that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I remember the same sort of interaction with Sakurai-san, and he wanted us like, you got to make sure that the printing is perfect. And we worked with this printer, and like Nintendo had the highest standards for vendors, right? And so we knew the printer was going to be great, but like sent somebody out there to
That's right.
peel
They
it-
had to like actually go and like watch them do it.
peel it off the line, like take it, make sure the colors were perfect, make sure the card could be, detached without tearing, right? Make sure the card worked with the 3DS system.
Oh my gosh.
Because like
It's awesome.
Sakurai's perfection level
Is
it needed
unreal.
to be 100%, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like just bringing the Kid Icarus Uprising campaign to
To
the
life.
masses. And that was early in my career there,
Yeah.
and
It's
and
tough.
having the exposure to developers. So like daddy of this game,
Daddy
right?
Sakurai.
Daddy
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do no wrong.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we experienced that many times over later on, but
Yeah.
yes, that was, Kit and I both worked on that game on the PR side, and it was the same thing. Like we had to get we did that tournament.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was 2 years of work. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Like simple things that you think people might outside of the company might think, oh, that's just like a thing that is very normal and it happens right away. It's like, it takes so much work.
It does. Like working, like animating Mario, animating Yoshi, animating like
Anything.
animating any of
I know.
other beloved characters.
Yeah.
So much easier
Yeah.
than
Kid Icarus than anything Smash for sure. Yeah.
yeah. But good times.
Good times.
I think if you've ever purchased a Nintendo digital code for content or currency
You invented
through
that.
a retailer,
Yeah.
that's because of the work that me and a very small group of cross-functional folks. So,
Yay!
oh, I don't know why I get
I mean, seriously, like a digital code
Yeah.
did not exist at
Before you.
Nintendo before this person.
The internet? The what?
Like they did not know.
Yeah, you grew the
You
business.
created that.
Yeah. Daddy
made-
Digital.
Daddy
Get a
Don't
t-shirt
do-
idea.
Don't do any wrong. But yeah, you literally created that for Nintendo. Created that business for Nintendo.
There were
It's unbelievable.
very select other people that were involved in building the infrastructure in the back end, actually negotiating with retailers, all this stuff. That's kind of, it's details, but it's a lot of work. It took a while, but yeah. I'm
And you had to
grateful
tell
for
them
that.
how important that was. They didn't know.
Yeah, we did do like forecasting and
Remember all that
and
when
how
you were
big
like,
this business could be, right?
excuse me, people buy things this way now. Pretty crazy to think
All right, fantastic. That's all the questions. Now is the time that we typically shout out
Yes.
our Patreon subscribers, and we're going to attempt
Okay, let me
to have us all do it this time.
Oh, boy.
And we're not going to give you any help with some of these pronunciations.
Yay.
We're just going to do our best through it. Looks like you're all getting this up and ready.
Okay.
Oops. This is the
Let's
one.
see. How about I'll start and we go around this way.
Okay. That's a good one.
This way?
No, we'll go this way.
Oh, this way. Okay.
The other way. Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me just.
I
love the first
apologize
one.
ahead of time
Yeah.
for my
Yes.
Yes.
mispronunciation.
We all
Yes,
apologize.
We all apologize ahead of time.
I don't apologize.
Except for Sean.
I'm going to go out of his way to mispronounce.
All right.
Just you wait.
We are going to start with our wonderful superstars. Here we go. Aaron Hash.
Ben Eichhorn.
MaruMayhem.
Eigenverse.
KissMyFlapjack.
Mike Chen.
Roy Eschke.
Switching it up _
Sephazon.
vgmlife.
Link the Hero of Winds.
Angela Bycroft.
Thomas O'Rourke.
Kyle LeBoeuf.
Roberto. Nieves.
Fredrik Konradsson.
Andrew Youhas.
Chili.
Brustache.
And RainTech.
That's a
Okay,
very
that's-
strong
that's
start.
pretty strong.
We can do this.
Very strong.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, this is the
This is
harder.
gonna
This is
work.
the
I feel
harder
like I got
batch.
lucky on that one.
Should I start with this
Easy
one?
names.
If you'd like to start, you certainly can.
Yeah, I love it. A Ron Burgundy.
Fantastic name.
Yeah, I love it.
Ali Alejandro.
Astro Dev.
Oh, sorry. Awesome 46.
Bad Moon Horizon.
Ben GB.
Oh, blue, yellow, gray.
Bookham Dan Zero.
Bookishly Fab.
Brooke Obscura.
Brovac Novak.
Cameron.
Chelly_squirrel.
Christopher Lay.
Captain Alex.
Crim Cat.
C Roper 17.
Dachshund.
Doinko.
Dolce.
Dino Punch.
Elite Peach.
Espars 50.
Fart Priest 69.
Furbound.
Bernie and Jeff Forever.
Fox Deploy.
Garrett Holfish.
Garth the Wolf.
Gartooth.
G-Sun 101.
Heroic.
Oh, no. Iris Marin.
J. Rando.
Jabroni Jones.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Hernandez.
Jerry 92602.
Jesse Hernandez.
John Responte.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Collette.
Jordan Hemmerly.
Joshua Clemens.
Oh my gosh. Juju Fruit.
Just Camtro.
Justin Lemminger.
Kawa 2796.
Keith Kwan.
Kevin Delane.
Kilo Kibo.
Kristarati Kid.
Christopia Party With Me.
Kyle Gamer Berry Rookie.
Kyle Kretzer.
Linnell Stickman.
Lex.
Lit.
Luminous.
Mad Dog 5981.
Magnificent Easy G plus Callie Marie.
Marky Man 64.
Mario Man 392.
Mecha Dragon 101.
Megan.
Michael Cravens.
Mikey.
Mr. Andy Pong.
We missed one.
Motomania.
What?
It's okay. He got it.
We're back on track.
Back on track.
Oh, what did I do?
Mr. Bean's Dip.
Oh.
Mr. Bean's End Dip. And I said I wasn't going to apologize.
MSM Pokey Gamer.
My Tram.
Nasir.
Nathan Burkhart.
Ninja 11.
Panda Buns.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is
Pangy.
Paul C. Pace.
Paul Gale Network.
Crime Factor.
Prince Charmless.
Oh gosh. I'm just gonna say these numbers, but R34V3R, and I'm sure that's not how it's pronounced. But on this one, I'm not apologizing.
Rio 1.
Rob Osborne.
Rocks.
Rionetta.
Sharif Jackson.
Sure Cold Vanille.
Oh, Shin Ryu.
Slowbro.
Schnozzle.
Spicy Munchkin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Steely Citron.
Sunny Gaduru.
Tales of Link.
Tech Magic.
Terra Storm.
The Shark Among Men.
Thomas Alvarez.
Three Rivers.
Topher Schmofer.
Torcheeks.
Travis Torline.
Trejawi.
Tugs Puppy Bear.
Tusku.
Tyler Geis.
Vesfes.
Video Game Stupid.
Vidrid_Ian.
Virtual Bot.
Weeb Kingdom.
WG Grizzy.
Wicked Davy.
Will Johnson.
Zudaverf.
Zelgarath.
Zay Patty.
Droid.
Yes.
Yay!
Can I just say Mr. Beans and Dip? I think we could be friends. Love it.
Come to the next 1 o'clock
Yes.
meetup, and you can meet
Special
Mr.
guests.
Beans and Dip.
Special guests.
We play Mario Kart and hang out. Wow, this was an amazing episode. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Hope it was fun for you.
Yeah,
thanks for
It was
having
so
us.
fun. We have to have you guys back. There's so many. We have so many stories.
Some that we've apparently forgotten.
Some that we've apparently forgotten.
Can
That we
summon
need
them
to
back.
Remember for 10 plus years of being together. It's like you got a lot of stuff. Don't forget to follow us on patreon.com/Kit and Krysta to keep this going. If you want these people back in these chairs, go to patreon.com/Kit and Krysta.
If you are watching this on YouTube, you can go ahead and subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and leave us a comment. And if you're one of our great audio listeners, you can also subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, and a written review if you please.
And we're on the socials. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Threads. Somehow still on Threads. I don't know why. All right. We're going to stop. You guys ready to stop? Sort of? We might keep going after you.
Go.
Okay, bye!